and silver. It's a quiet one, nothing crazy. Manulife Financial as well too. We got tomorrow morning. We'll take a look at some of these names. Disney, JD, we'll like that one for sure. Billy. So some of these ADRs coming into play for tomorrow.
We're open, Joey.
Oh, go ahead.
On
brother.
LPTX, we're open, guys. Nothing doing quite yet, Joey. We're still at 211. There's a buyer here at 211, a monster buyer. He's going to get taken out. There's 10s, there's 7s. So we're dropping here, Joey. The 10 EMA on the 5, a little south of 2, guys. It is at 193, but here comes $2. Are the buyers going to step in at the psychological level of support? The initial answer is at least yes, bouncing off that area low back into 7s, but not even close to that halt level open, Joey. Here we go. We're popping back off. Let's see if we can move back up above the $0.25. Good look right now in LPTX, but down south of 400. There's 19s, so nothing above the $0.25 quite yet. But look what time it is, Joey.
Oh, is it 2 o'clock? I was gonna say I'm a DGen too, man. I'm up there trading Blue Ocean. Sunday, we're looking at everything. It is 2:01. So banking those right there, Shreve. I'm starving. I can't wait to try out this. To try out this shepherd's pie.
There's shepherd's pie.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Neil
says there's a lot of hot sauce there. But you know what I got, Joey? When I got back from the dentist, there were a couple of.
What'd you get?
There are a couple of egg omelets there. Ready for me.
Did you get the vegetable ones?
I got them. Yeah. Oh, we got to mix it. We got to keep. I
might have to take
one
of those, man.
You're gonna take one of them?
Yeah.
For me?
Yeah.
That's crazy talk right there, my boy. We got a sesh. There's always one for you, Joey, no matter what. All right, guys, we're sending it to the big boys. I'll see everybody at the big desk.
Easy.
Yes, we'll see you there. And Joe, like I said, you need to put some sauce on that. What are we calling it? It's because it's not shepherd's pie. It was cottage pie.
Looks exactly like shepherd's pie to me.
Well, here was jokes. When I looked it up, one of the things that was supposed to be the difference was smothered in gravy. There wasn't an ounce of gravy.
Okay. No,
like not even a little bit, not even a hint of it, which I think would have made a humongous difference for sure. There's actually a bunch of stuff. There's not a lot of it in terms of earnings, but there's a couple of things at the bell that I wanted to mention. Yesterday we talked about Archer. Archer is a 7.5 million upweight. OpenDoor is a 7.5 million upweight at the close. Like both of those names potentially could have a little something going into the close here. We'll see. I tend to like them for the longs because of what we saw yesterday. So maybe a little bit more to look at in terms of the closing imbalances heading into power hour. Market has been somewhat of a dud, but you know what? There's always a Mag 7 somewhere. Apple's about to break out the high of the day as we speak. I was going to talk about SoFi, but no, it looks like Apple's going to break out maybe yesterday's high as well. This one's been a strong one. Apple's just steady Eddie. Steady Eddie. Could be back to all-time highs in a day or two.
Yeah, I mean, what a difference when you talk to different, people and how the days are going and things like that. Like, I am just in such a chill mode right now. We're now $3 in the money on the short here for AMD. So it's like, honestly, we did real good one way. Now we're trying to get it the other way here again into that short. So yeah, we shorted VWAP twice. Unfortunately, I didn't get any shares out right there. I actually put this trade on and went for a walk. Came back, got VWAP as well, and now all the way back in. So there's another decent winner right here. I hope everyone's having a great day. It's to me, it's just 3 names today. It's Google, it's the futures, and it's AMD. L on Google right here early. Big time win on AMD, and then this move right here on the TQs. So yeah, we already talked about this trade. This was $13 or so top side there, and now we wait for the short. And I'm going to try to give this to the 50-period moving average, which is 256, as my next out. So here it is, man, $3 again, the other way. So yeah, it's close. What's up, Rivian Millionaire? Yeah, no, I mean, I made a lot more during the IPOs and stuff, but as far as just a single trade, yeah, like this, I've already talked about it. And now we just added onto this right here. So I think AMD, yeah, will probably be the single most money I've made on a stock in a given day. You guys saw me trade it both ways. You didn't see this trade, but shorting VWAP is exactly what I do. So there it goes, man, $3 back in. And it's just this market, right? As Neil said, man, you got to trade the right stocks and find the right names. Apple's an obvious long there today. And it's just a tale of different styles, right? I mean, I've just been in this for a while, holding it and just watching this bleed to the downside here. I have another bid at 254.11 here. Hopefully that will fill right here at this low. We just made, like, we might have just wicked right there. So maybe I can change this. Maybe I'll go to let me put something at 254.50 here as we just sort of bounced around off of that level again. And I don't know, I just don't want to be like so looking at this more than I need to. So we'll let it settle down. I have the stop. Actually, I have to adjust the stop. My stop was at 256.30. Let's put it in now, 256. Where is this? 01s or so. 01 here. We'll get out of 50% if it does make the move back up. Otherwise, we have our bids, man. We have 254.50s, and then we have 254.11s. I only have 35% left on this trade right here. So, yeah, we'll let this keep on settling down, and we'll go other than that. Mr. Vargas, there is no way. I mean, we did have, here, I'll put it up on the chat. We did have, I know you guys want to follow everything that I'm doing, but we did have, yeah, here it is right here. I'll put it up on the send selected right here. We used to have it never worked though. We did have that TraderTV Mobile stream that was the mobile stream works. It was the,
It was the
what it
more
was called.
TraderTV.
More TraderTV.
More
It
Trader
never
TV.
worked for our positions, but
Well, it half worked for a little bit, and then it never really completely.
Yeah, yeah.
They couldn't get it. They couldn't get it to work the way that it was supposed to. Is the best way.
right,
to
right. So it never wasn't working properly. So I don't even know if it's still up or not.
It also took a lot. Like the thing is, like the effort trying to fix it to make it work wasn't. It's at the end of the day, like it's not. It wasn't worth the effort. There was lots of other things that we can do to make the show better, that were just more feasible, right? And a lot of things come down to that at the end of the day. Well, I mean, a lot of things aren't having a good day. I'm just anticipating this is going to be on the rundown, actually. Rivian's actually back down a little bit. Well, it was worse. It's actually bounced pretty nicely. It was all the way down at 16.4. Now back up of VWAP. Not bad. I mean, strongest stock. One of the strongest stocks for the last week has been Rivian. At some point, you can't have green days every single day. The highs and lows is the way she goes. I like that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to steal that. Just like, what, the highs and lows is just the way she goes? I like that saying. It's a good one. It's a great saying. I don't mind using that. I have zero compunction using, and compunction is a word I stole from Sharif. He's the only person that ever says it on this show. So I'll just do it like that. And in terms of, and then when these guys have the Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'm not going to steal that, but I want my soul glow so I can hit a key. And remember Coming to America? That is one of the, it's like the most annoyingly funny song to me. That crazy soul glow saxophone music. And I've always wanted to be able to just use it randomly, and every time wasn't allowed to use it at my wedding because, oh no, we have to come out to anyway, it doesn't really matter. I just love soul glow. I can't say if I would sing it if I could. Mike Peter Ryder. You know how trust me, you know how it goes, but I can't hit that octave. I don't even know how that brother got up there to be able to do that. It was impressive. Get that Michael Jackson in him, really.
Get some people talking about playing instruments. That'd be really great. I always wish I played sort of guitar.
Did you do?
My dad was a crazy drummer. He was in a band and everything.
George is in a band?
I didn't know. Not in one now.
No, I mean I didn't know that.
Yeah, man, my dad.
Nice.
And my dad was it. So, but yeah.
Does Mike play?
No, no one really plays any instruments. I know it's strange. I really wish I learned a guitar. I mean, not too late to do that right now. Maybe we will one day. But I think we've got
Duolingo.
We've got our. I don't have patience for that. I don't have patience for anything. I got a talent. I think I found it. So we're all good on that front. Just wish we had the skill there as far as the instruments. But yeah, man, it's been a great day here. Trust me, bro. We're all good as we continue to go forward here. Great trading today, man.
I'll tell you what says, trust me, bro. Let's say I love the irony of that statement.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Circle's still down 10%. I thought that name would actually bounce.
Well, it actually, yeah. It did do an SSR bounce, but this will probably be in the rundown, but we can just talk about it now. It does feel like this might be headed towards the IPO prices. Which you have to think, if you're going to defend this stock anywhere, why not just go right back to the beginning? Right? And that was at $68, I believe, almost. No, maybe it was 69 that this opened up. Should remember, it was a great opening print. Once you lose 80, you start getting down to those prices. Let's go to the rundown. I'm sure Circle will be, well, I mean, I think Circle will be on it. It actually might not be. You never know. BBAI and Open are going to be there for sure.
It's okay.
All right, guys, welcome to the afternoon rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys locked and loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But Randy, the only way to get those tickers right there, my man, is to get into the chat. Thank you, Randy. There you go. And throw in that $sign followed by whatever ticker your heart so desires. Let's look at all four major averages. Randy, 2 of them are red, 2 of them are green. Let's start with the ones that are red. Barely red is the NQ, down 0.13, but most notably holding 25,600 right now. The ES, marginally green as well, up 0.7, above 68.75. And the Dow, record day for it yesterday, breaking into all-time highs and maintaining its price above 48,400, up 0.77% on the day. Randy, it is the best performing major average on the day. And again, marginally red is the Russell 2000, still trading though below 2,500. We'll look to retrace above that. The first ticker as decided by you, BigBear AI, up 12 3/4. And here's what's happening. Beat on revenue, guys. They peaked at 22.4% intraday off the lows. Obviously, Q3 revenue came in at 33.14. That beat by 1.3 million. The estimates as well, that 3 penny loss per share. Tops estimates, the street was looking for a 4 penny loss per share there. Good look today, guys, for BigBear AI.
If there's a singular gripe you can make about a stock that's up 40% from the recent lows, well, I guess it was, not really anymore. Okay, let me rephrase that. Up over 25% from the lows. If there's going to be a gripe, it's just that it hasn't held on to any of these like massive gains. Like whether it was the gap up yesterday or it was just the explosive opening candle, like the vast majority of the volume has been selling. I mean, the good news is all of that selling is happening on the higher time frame. It's all happening at higher lows, right? So it's trending up in the kind of a weird way. It's trending up in a way in which you need to have been swinging off the 200 period and that dip on earnings, as opposed to trying to day trade it long. Because the last couple of sessions on the gaps, if you've been trying to go long after 9:30, you've just been losing. So this is probably, like, I think it's still trend up, and it's going to close, it held to 50. It's going to close above the 200 unless something disastrous happens this afternoon, or maybe not that disastrous, another 30 cents to the downside. And then the next step would be maybe breaking out 7. The issue with that is the way this has been trading, if it breaks out 7 at the open, it's almost like you have to have that trade, because after the open, it's been nothing but sell the last couple of sessions. So I feel like this is going to be a trade tomorrow. It just might be a very quick one or not at all.
Okay, yeah, for me, we've already sort of talked about this. I'm not really trading BigBear AI these days on
the show, but we are, still long in the personal, and we're still long at 4. And I think it's getting into some levels again here, worth looking at. As we have faded back, we have to look at the 50 period, the 200 period for sure down here at 550. We'll see if that has some play to it. But yeah, other than that, so far so good here trading so far today, as it's made moves down. I think the reason why I say so far so good is that, like, if you were looking short, you had multiple opportunities to go short right here on the top end of that trade, right? Like right into there. So that would have been a great short, and it gave it to you 3 times. It's very similar to what we did here with AMD. And then even right here now, if you're holding for the bottom and you miss that, it's right back here again and looking to break lower. I mean, I think this is a short heading into the rest of the day, as we are underneath the 50 period, underneath the 200, and underneath VWAP. I'm a simple man making simple trades, and this one was simple today. Just a nice high end right there. Get out if you're looking short. And right now, if you're looking long, you got to trade on board right here. You can go long at 680 or right here, and then get out if it breaks like 10 cents lower. Then that you'd be getting out on the low, and you could see what winds up happening. But for me, I'm going to stay away, man. I know where my bread is being buttered today, and it's at advanced micro devices. So let's go back over, figure out OpenDoor, SoFi, AMD, and Meta.
All right, guys, OpenDoor, good day for it as well, guys, 3% or thereabouts. Look, it was insider buying, really, that is the headline, but we already knew about this. Kazanjati and the CEO, the new CEO, took to X the day prior to basically say at the open, meaning yesterday, that they were going to buy about 1 million shares worth, him and his family, who he was referring to here. Today we get a report that insider transaction worth about $1 million. Looks like he acquired about 125,000 shares at an average price, guys, of $8.03. He now owns a little bit less than 84 million shares of direct ownership. Not all of them, though, have vested, guys. Recall that when he took the position, a lot of tranches for the price of the stock still have to be unlocked for those 84 million shares to vest.
Well, there's another piece of news for it, and I'm wondering if it spikes at the close because of this, if all of those shares still stay on, or this isn't an opportunity for a bit of a reversion after the fact. Because tonight, it blew this up, but like sometimes when you blow it up, it stays nice and sharp, and you guys can read it. I'll read it for you. MSCI USA small cap index tonight. OpenDoor is a share increase, float increase. That is 7.7 million shares expected. Yesterday, it was actually, tonight is actually also Archer, but Archer had a buy and balance yesterday for some reason too. So OpenAI has that going for it, potentially at the close, but what it also has going for it is another day, more of a slow grind to the upside, like 2 days of explosive moves, and then a couple of days of slow grinds, but just higher lows. You can probably be able to figure out without even looking that this is the volume weighted average price. Right, like VWAP tends to be a bit of a thing. It lost VWAP, I got out. It regained VWAP, I got back in. And if this one comes out with a buy and balance, then it'll also be along at 3, maybe before 3,450, potentially if it's huge, but certainly the potential for after. Like I can't remember the last time like a squeeze name had a big imbalance on it. And if that happens, I would suspect it's going to be a good trade. So yeah, we'll see if that ends up being something. But it's done 145 million shares. So believe me, if it's supposed to be 7.5 million and there's an imbalance of 1 million, not going to care. It's really going to have to be almost the same size as we're expecting to be significant for OpenDoor.
All right, we've talked about this earlier today, but the Trader TV Academy is launching very, very soon. We have to say that it's going to be, as you all know, and I think we've discussed, a game changer. We're going to be pulling back the curtain and showing you exactly how we learn to trade. Stay tuned. There are details coming soon, so keep watching. We'll sort of reveal more and more every single day on what we're going to be talking about. But as long as you are subscribed and following us on socials, then you will not miss this launch. So get ready, follow us all on X, on Instagram. I think TikTok, is still going. We've got that going on there as well. Make sure you do hit the subscribe. Let me just see right here what's going on the subscription. I'm going to guess 21.4 right here. Let's see.
I think that's a good guess.
Oh, wow.
Unchanged.
Nailed that one. Yeah, so 21.4 of you not subscribed, so make sure you hit that like and the subscribe and get going on that one. Just a quick little reload here. We are $3. That's not the Dollar Club, that's that. We are $3, 1, 2, 3, right there from my face to Benjamin's. As here we go into the downside now for AMD. I've just been taking a couple trades off right here. I still am waiting for 50s, but we've seen it now a couple times not get past this 70 or 80 marker to the downside. I could actually change this now. Why don't we just do that? We were using the 50-period moving average because, like, on the way up here today, you know, we got a bunch out, and I had some talk there. Christopher Ocean, hope your brother Frank is doing well. We do have, he was mentioning, why not just hold the whole thing until, you know, some sort of a level? And yeah, I think that's a great call. You know, that's the 21 period, that's the 50 period. So right now, because we don't have too many shares left, I'm going to use the 50 period. The 21 period would have already broken right there, so that would have been the out if we had talked about that earlier. But 255.65, I'm going to cancel my other fill. And this is hopefully some of the stuff that, you know, when we're talking about the academy and things like that, we'll talk about properly setting up your charts and how to make sure that you have all of these opportunities in front of you. So I'm going to go 50% out, which I only have 30% left, so it'll be out 15, and then we'll hold the rest after that to go. So 30% left on this, waiting for some lower lows to come through on, again, like I was saying, this is the biggest P&L on any individual name I've had other than an IPO or a SPAC or anything like that on the show. So really happy today with the AMD trade. And it's funny because I was dying this AM and still managed to put on this trade. So, all right, let's go back over there. SoFi, a name that I absolutely love and have been buying dips.
Yeah, and it had a really good catalyst yesterday, Sean. We'll talk about the one from today, but let's talk about the one from yesterday. They threw their hat back into the crypto game, guys, announcing SoFi Crypto, which is going to be a platform allowing customers buy, sell, and hold dozens of digital currencies. We're talking Bitcoins, Ethereum, Solana. It's going to be a phased out rollout, though, guys, and it will extend to more members over the coming weeks. No exact time given by the company separately. There is a rise here for whatever reason in the short interest of SoFi. It has moved up from 8.68% as it was 2 weeks ago, now up to 9.07 or about 9.26, excuse me, of the float. Take about a little bit less than 1.5 days to cover. Kind of makes sense, though, given where this price, where the stock price has been lately.
Yeah, I mean, if you're at all-time highs and you've gone up 4 times from the lows, there's some shorts that are going to be betting against you. This one, it feels like it's got a little bit more to go. The only thing I don't like about this, and I'll get to like the bearish part first, would be at this point, it still looks okay. It is a false break of the all-time high, right? Like that was kind of like a failed continuation long off the prior high. It worked the first time, but it didn't work the second time. And then you bounced off this lower high, but we haven't kind of retaken that prior high. So if we end up in this range and then break 31, this could be like a lookout below. Like if we do this, if we close under 31, I'm going to feel about this like I felt about Rivian today, where it feels like it just failed a big level and you're looking for the back end after a glorious run to the upside. But it's still above 31. It's a close under 31 that would concern me on SoFi to be bearish on it tomorrow. I think if we can get back above, it's about 31. I'll just go to the 3-minute now. It's VWAP-ish, but you know, the line on the chart's a line on the chart. But if we can actually start breaking out above the volume-weighted average price, I'll like it a little bit better. And you can see like those were the levels I was playing longs in front of each time. And then when they would break down, I would simply get out. I'd be looking for that this afternoon. Can we get back above, or can we dip back into that level of support? And then I'm going to like it a little bit more.
Okay, I was just going to show you my sticky note here. We love SoFi. I think it's one of the better long-term holds actually in my portfolio, to be honest with you. So I'm going to keep doing it. Right there, I wrote down long 30-50 for SoFi, the watch area back to yesterday afternoon and looking to run to 52-week highs of $32. Well, we did one thing, but not the other. We did run today, and we sort of made that call as the market was tanking in the morning. SoFi was running. So we'll say at least we can give ourselves a little bit of a pat on the back for that kind of a talk there. But at the end of the day, I wrote down 30-50. And, to have been smarter trader, I should have been sitting here at 31 because we had double bottomed a couple times, well, basically once there, and then the double bottom there, and then give it another go against that low. Should have been doing that. So a better trader would have been long SoFi today. Unfortunately, that's not me. So we'll go back over to the desk and look at AMD, and I have a few things to say about that one.
The first analyst day for AMD since 2022, boys, and they announced many different things. Look, they're looking at ironing out their 3 to 5 year goals, more than the company's guiding or hoping to be able to triple its earnings in the next 3 to 5 years. They also announced that the chip market for advanced AI chips could hit $1 trillion by 2030. They also talk about how they're looking to expand their infrastructure as well as get into the server game. Analysts, several of them say, look, AMD's targets are quite lofty, but they are attainable, citing major tie-ups with OpenAI and Oracle that could generate tens of billions of dollars for the company.
All right, so just playing the way I always do, man. It's momentum, and it's big trades, and it's realistic trading. AMD 250 long. I wrote down 248 long, okay? We wanted to see this weekly retest of this stock, right? But it was a number one idea. I didn't even really look at the stories or anything. I knew from yesterday that looking at AMD and the way it moved in the after hours, the way we were trading it yesterday, and it had that financial day there, I wrote down 248 because I figured the market was up half decent, that we may get a little bit of a pullback, and these right into here. This is the weekly sort of tops that we've had, and it's only been 2 days. So it's not like we had too much to worry about. If it did fall back into this area, we would have had some easy out. So I was going to wait for those areas. And the only thing was, we had the right way, but we were a little too low. So all we wound up doing here on AMD is very, very simple again. And that is that when this came back in, I was like, you know what? We started the day here at 258, all right, at 9:30. We were so patient. We're not normally this patient, and look how much it paid off. We waited until it basically got into some of these lows from the pre-market, which was 250 dead on. I said, if this market's going to keep on falling down, I mean, we've got to put on our trader hat at some point. If this market keeps on falling down, I have such an easy out right down here at 250. So let's just load up. Why not? We liked the stock. We knew it had the juice. I didn't know it was going to go $13 in the money, or to Christopher's point, we would have held that. But we did enough on this to be, as I've already told you, I mean, it's going to sound stupid if I keep telling you about this trade, but that's what we did, man. We bought it numerous times. We actually got out a little bit here. Like, these were good outs, man. This was 251. That's 253.50. So just right there, we took 3 to 1. Then we reloaded it again. And then I was like, at this point, we're playing with house money. So we even got a little bit more aggressive. And then boom goes a dynamite, just straight to the upside. And then I was like, you know what, man? Like, traders got to trade, right? This came right back up. We tried it again, the long there. That was okay until it lost it. Then I just felt short after that. I was just like, you know what? AMD's had such a great day that let's just short this thing. So it rips back up. It goes from the bottom of 254, which we're at now, back into VWAP. Then that was only a small amount of shares. Then it comes back into VWAP again. We take that short and then to the downside. So, I mean, it's been a pretty epic day here for AMD, and I hope a lot of you were able to take this down with me. So there it is, AMD, big trade alert.
Yeah, big trade alert for sure. And I'm gonna say I don't do this, you know, banhammer thing in the chat. I know Sharif talks about it, but
who's
look, I've timed you out several times, and you know who you are, pumping a Discord channel. It's just not what we're about. Okay, so I get it, you keep coming back in there, but that's not what we're about here. And we don't mind, everyone can express their opinions. We have a great community, and it's an awesome one, but we're not here you know, to pump that kind of stuff and just spam it and then create a new name and spam it again, everybody. That's not what it's about here. We have a great community. Share your ideas, share your thoughts. I mean, I see tons of it in here. Like, someone right now is talking about Palantir for an opportunity out there, and I don't even think I've looked at that stock, and I love that kind of thing. And we love our visualizers so we can get ideas from each other and all of that, but you know, that's what it's all about. I can say with like almost certainty that I don't think there was a way to have captured this the way that I like it on AMD for like the mean reversion. That being said, there was something like this trade here, right? Like, there's your topping tail. It gave me what I wanted. I liked 47 as well, so it didn't really get down there. I was looking for it to break down to 47 for any kind of a long. It didn't. But the trend break to VWAP, it's what it did after the fact. So I'm probably not going to have this trade 10 times out of 10 because it's not a setup I like. But when it does this, like that second time through where it doesn't break the high, and then you've got this like level in here where it was the short before, that's where they're in control. And I talked about, the thing I mentioned in the lesson of the day was, you know, sometimes you want to be in the trade after one side is taking control over the other. So it could be buyers from sellers or sellers from buyers. And I think that happened right in here at this lower high where you could have had it from here to there. And it does get to the volume weighted average price. On the other side of the coin, AMD, well, that's a bad wick. AMD has a chance to, okay, well, if it closes above 250, then we have a chance to sort of reestablish the range that it was in before, where everyone's selling above 260, and then you're buying it at the 250. The problem is it was declining and downward trending in all of that. And if I look at what's going on in a lot of this space, I feel like it still feels very toppish. Like, I was actually telling Obi that SNDK is very close to looking like it's making some kind of a top, like a head and shoulders in here, and then it could break down. So a lot of these names which have been high flying are starting to show some signs of weakness, and I think you got to pay attention when they do.
All right, guys, Meta, the last on the list over here, it continues to sell off today. Another more than 2.25% now as it trades into 612, high of the day, 628.99. Here's the deal. We know how much Zuck is going to spend on the build-out, the AI build-out that is. He's committed over $600 billion through 2028. But we also had Michael Burry alleging accounting issues. Specifically, guys, what he's talking about here is the depreciating value of the older chips. We're talking about the H100s, you know, and when Blackwell is outdated as well, the B200. And he's saying, look, the company's allotting more of a lifespan for these chips than is realistically possible. As a result, they're saying they're going to be able to continue to generate revenue for them in years where they may not be able to. And as a result, they're kind of fudging the numbers there. Whether or not that's accurate, we'll have to wait and see. Meta down 2.25.
Yes, sir, and Meta kind of taking it on the chin here in today. And I can tell you, I tried a reversion on this one. Obviously didn't work out. That being said, one of the things, I mentioned this a couple of days ago, sometimes the trend is long enough that you shouldn't look for the reversion on the short-term time frame. You should look at maybe the 15-minute. And if you look at a 15-minute here, as opposed to a 3, it gave you a much more distinct, this is a first green candle, and then look at the support off of it. Now, ultimately, it doesn't necessarily break the trend until here, but it doesn't make a difference. You're long at the same price area, but the higher time frame allows you to join when the buyers have taken control instead of try to predict where it's going to happen. As I said, you know, in trading in 20 years, you do way better joining where the big money is instead of anticipating where they're going to be. But we got to give a big shout out to OGen and what they're trying to accomplish and hope they are able to accomplish, because each year 3.8 million concussions are reported in the United States and there is still no FDA approved treatment. NYSE listed Orgenex, OGEN, is changing that with its first in class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. And with the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Orgenex is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule a meeting today. You can scan the QR code right there in front of you, read or link in the description, and check them out. Brain health is everything. You don't have that, well, you don't have much of anything really at the end of the day. So shout out to them and hope they do fantastically. Something else. Oh, that's what it was. We were talking earlier about Circle and how it was continuing lower and some of those IPOs. I just saw in the chat, Matt, CoreWeave as well. Like this is when I was sort of talking about like a lot of things rolling and looking weak, CoreWeave is pretty close to $2 away from a flat bottom break here, where there's not much. Like once you break 84 bucks, if you close under that, there's the highs, the post IPO high was like 64. This could be breaking today. This could be breaking tomorrow. Just a lot of things looking relatively weak here and just teetering, kind of teetering on the precipice of falling down. And look, I get it, CoreWeave, it's not like the earnings were on paper bad or anything like that. The guide wasn't the best in the world, but some people will tell you that this whole, whether you want to call it a house of cards or circle jerk, a lot's been said about the circular nature of what's going on in the AI space. This name in particular, in terms of volatility, it's already bad enough for your recent IPO. People are trying to figure out how to value them, and let alone how much they spend to not make a lot of money. This one probably falls the hardest if we lose the bid, and in this particular case, it actually might fall first as well.
All right. Yeah, I saw a question there. I did exit 25% of what I had left on AMD, which actually was a little bit more than I had thought. I would have got out of it all, but I have a little bit more shares than I actually thought, which is a good thing for AMD as it's at all-time highs. I just, in the process of reviewing some of the accounts, but just because of that exact nature there of what we talk about, how the futures are so reliant right now, and at least some of these names are, on this whole AI idea actually working out. So we did get some out there on AMD, but I don't want to trim the whole position. I mean, in case this does continue its upside grind, which it's definitely been doing. It hasn't been much of a grind over the last couple of days, but we were just down to 233. If I can get something out at 260, like we did around lunchtime, then we will do that. So right into here, out some of AMD, and I don't know, whether or not you get out at 255, 260, 265. I mean, obviously it makes a difference when you're jumping $5, but I don't know where this thing's going to go tomorrow. This could be way up. So I just wanted to, I'd cleared some out before in this area, 230. Let's clear some in the 255 to 260. I could find the exact price I got.
Come with the PA?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I was sort of.
Yeah. When I'm trading here, I'm almost, like, I only have a quarter of this position left, and I actually just got some more out at O's right there. It did almost fill me at 55, by the way. I'm bidding 55s. Can you believe that? That bounced off 56s. Just there. So part of the stop, we were going to get out at the 50 period, remember? But now that came a little bit lower there, and I actually didn't adjust it. So now our out is sitting at 75s. So let's take advantage of this move back in. There we go. We just bid some 10s and get run over there. So we just took another out right here as you fall back in. We're starting to get lighter and lighter on this advanced micro devices position. And I am obsessed with this stock today because it's just been that good. So, all right, let's go over Robinhood. Look, Bitcoin's downside here pretty badly. It's at 101. Like I didn't try to do anything to anybody, just other than tell you, if you're trading Bitcoin, you sort of know what you're in for here. It's been an up and down ride, and right now it's just severely down. It's down 26% from its all-time high. And I know that number is not exact because it was at 126,000. So it's just down 26,000 on 126. So let's give it 22% or so to the downside here, as the NASDAQ's right now 3% off its all-time highs, as is the SPY. So obviously crypto continues to get hit. And the reason why I go on like this is I still think that there is a big part of the story of Robinhood is part of this sort of traders being in love with crypto and this new movement towards having everything all in one app. And obviously you're not going to have your banking involved with Robinhood, but all of your trading. I hear the announcements of SoFi. I hear, IBKR, Charles Schwab, JP Morgan. Everybody is now getting involved in stuff similarly to what Robinhood's doing. But the Robinhood has the install base, and they have obviously the customer base, and young traders is what we're hearing when we hear about Robinhood's numbers and what they look like. So I always think that, hey, wealth is something that gets transferred over to the youth if you're lucky enough. So, if you've opened up an account and you just started your trading journey, potentially Robinhood is where you are. And once you're somewhere, you probably don't leave unless something catastrophic happens. So I think Robinhood has a great install base, and users are there. I just, as how far it's gone, that's just it. I think there is some pullback due. This was a $40 stock back in April. Check that, $30 stock. Lots of things were down at that time, right? We had I hear Joe hitting the bang over there. We had Tesla down at $200 at this time. Yeah, Tesla's now 480 or whatever it is. We had many names that were much better of a return than Robinhood, but not many, right? Not many. But there was stocks that were like that. But this was one that you could wrap your head around. Robinhood made a lot of sense, and it really just took off from here. So, we've seen what can happen with Bull, Webull, and SoFi, and Robinhood, and this is finally getting its due, right? Robinhood's a great stock that keeps continuing to perform on its EPS, and the analysts love this. So hard to say anything red about or negative about Robinhood, other than the fact that, yeah, it's been hit, and if crypto can't get off its sort of back here, then yeah, I am obviously a little worried about what we could see moving forward here, with Robinhood and with the space. So I'm going to stay with JP Morgan and SoFi. I think I have the best of both worlds there, some old school and new school. So I'll if Robinhood
SoFi is a bank.
Right, exactly.
That's a big difference.
And if Robinhood can come in, I still have Webull, so Webull would be my Robinhood, I guess. But I like Webull better at $10 than I do Robinhood at $140.
I'm a little scared of coin in some ways. But with regards to Robinhood, my biggest hope for Robinhood is not hoping that they don't fall apart. As long as they close the WonderFi deal, I'll be happy. Because somebody doesn't think it's closing. And I'm betting against it. I think I mentioned this already. But the other thing I was going to point out is They literally stole this company. But anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Did they? I mean, WonderFi doesn't make any money, man.
No, it's not about, it was, if you look at the moment when all of these stocks went absolutely ham, that was when they put in the buy.
I know, but I'm saying that could have also had the fate of Bull and gone back to 52-week lows.
It is possible. Yeah. I just feel as if they made the deal a couple of weeks later, this stock should have been bought for like twice.
There's AMD.
That being said, it isn't, so it doesn't matter. Okay, finally, SoFi got back up. SoFi. SMCI. SoFi is on the mind when we were just talking about fintech. That's why. I've been waiting for this thing to pop and maybe give some play back into 38. So the trend is what it is. And no, John, I don't think I'm trying to throw shade at Hood. I don't think we're trying to throw shade at Hood. That's not a.
You throwing shade. If anything, it was me throwing shade there.
I don't think it's throwing shade to be concerned if this trend breaks. You know what I mean? Like I have some concern that this trend breaks. I would be more concerned with Coinbase right now because I feel as if Hood's got a better moat than Coinbase. And if things break down, like Coinbase is like on the precipice of a flat bottom break, which to me just looks and feels worse than that trend break, which you're seeing happen for Robinhood. So I don't know if we're throwing shade on. I wouldn't consult. I don't think we're throwing shade on it necessarily. But yeah, fair enough. I don't feel as positively as I did on the way up recently because I think you're losing the 50-period moving average and the trend is about to be broken. And you've had some great returns. Sometimes you're just due for pullback, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I just did a little bit of a rant there on Robinhood as well, and it just comes back over to me. And I mean, what am I going to do? Just talk about this trade again? It's now $4 in the money, and AMD is just going lower. As here we go. Like, I hope that I'm not just proving that like we're doing it here and can't do it again. So it's just it's been good. Let's hope that we can continue to have this kind of luck. Maybe I should feel not as good more often. Like this has been such a banger here. I've already said that this was, and I just tweeted it out already, right? Like this was already the biggest trade that I've had was this long right here since we started the show. And then now we just put it on again. We just put something on again right here back into the downside. So yeah, it's just really good. And it was the #1 idea on the note. So let's just move off of that. And if you have it, you have it. If you don't and you're, you know, that's what it is. All right, let's just do a reset here on this. There's been everything here. We've had a lot of voting. I'm going to reset this thing. It's BBAI, it's OpenDoor. I mean, we can keep it, whatever. LPTX, Oklo there, up 9%. Right there on Oklo, so that's a huge one there. Rocket Lab still, here, let me just push pause here for a minute. Google down, I like Google. Google's my red stock here of the day. We've only traded 3 names, Google, AMD, which just keeps going lower. Rocket Lab's over there, Palantir. Palantir is actually getting hit pretty good. Considering the market's not really doing too much, Palantir right now down 4.5%, so that continues to go lower as well. But that might be one to look at here, PLTR. I mean, I didn't even realize that was down so badly off that 200 marker, basically. I mean, we got to 190, yeah, we got to 195 yesterday or something right there. We loved Palantir when the market's rallying. Now the market is kind of doing nothing right here, and Palantir is hitting the skids down to that downside. No real recovery today for PLTR. Came back into this 180 level. You know, I told you the other day that this had become basically my largest holding, so we're going to start to pair some off as it gets up into these levels because, you know, what goes bump in the night is Palantir if there's any problems with AI and with valuations. Again, that sparks some sort of a concern as Michael Burry apparently has been shorting this thing. I don't know if he's...
You shorted the wrong thing.
Yeah, I don't know if he's out of it or not.
If Palantir is making a high, you could short Palantir or you could just short Lumen. Better short. Like, which company would you bet on?
Lumen has a little, yeah, but Lumen doesn't make any money.
The problem with Lumen is he probably couldn't get 80% of his, well, assuming it was, let's assume that the 80% was evenly split between NVIDIA and Palantir, then he would have had like 40%. You probably couldn't have as big of a position short this stock, but every time Palantir dips, Lumen gets punked. Like this is down 6% or 7% when it's down 4.5%, and this is almost back at the 50 period. When second you put up Palantir, I'm like, oh, I wonder if Lumen's having as bad of a day, because when it bounces, this thing can go absolutely ham. This is where it broke out from on checks notes, a deal with Palantir. Shocking. So they have partnership with Palantir, and that's part of the reason why they go up. And the short float and the small float are maybe a little of the story too as well. That doesn't hurt them. And if Palantir tries to bounce soon, then I think Lumen off the 50 period can give you a chance, and certainly the 200 if Palantir continues to go down. Sometimes it can be easier to go over and look at the sympathy name if it works. It's not like it always works, just jumping into some kind of a sympathy play. But in this case, it has been true that when Palantir dips, that like Lumen just sort of gets taken to the woodshed is the term I'm looking for. And there's a lot of companies that aren't making money. That if we're gonna harp on ones that are doing well and growing, you have to start with the ones that went 3, 4x or sometimes 5x, 10x, and profitability is a dream at this point for a lot of them. Just getting revenues, consistent revenues that are even a decent fraction of their market cap sometimes can be a bit of a problem. Staring at the quantum space for sure. And shout out to Arun in the chat for mentioning where there has been some strength today, like real strength. Have a look at healthcare. If people are if money is coming out of AI, it's got to go somewhere. I mean, it can sit on the sidelines, but that's not usually how it works. And financials and healthcare are a couple of places where it's been going in. So UNH has gotten a bump, I should say. Humana's gotten a bump. Whether or not it's held on to it, I don't know. UNH I've looked at. Humana I have not recently. And the one that I think could be, okay, fine. Humana never seems to hold on to it.
Oh, yeah.
Oscar is. See, there's one that's actually holding on to the bounce. It's not quite at the 13 level yet. It's getting pretty close to support on Oscar. And if money's rotating back in, this is another follow the leader type of name where it'll just sort of follow, hopefully, as things go back into the upside. Loading in the chat, if the shutdown stops tonight, do we have CPI tomorrow? No, I'm not sure if they end the shutdown, whether you automatically would just simply get the data like normal. My gut would tell me it's not that simple. But let's ask Adara. I'm sure she knows.
Yeah, she probably knows.
I wanted to bring this up because Caroline Levitt, who is White House press secretary, sort of addressed this, and I do want to clear there. I want to be clear. This is certainly, I mean, there was a message to be made from this remark, right? But that being said, what she had said was that she's not sure if we'll ever get any of this inflation data from October. So because it's the October data, that implies that at least she doesn't believe that we're going to be getting that inflation data for October, including CPI. Again, though, this was in the context of a political statement, so you always have to keep in mind intentions of people speaking. That being said, that to me implies that we are not likely to get the CPI print tomorrow, even if the government shutdown ends. If I get more details, I'll let you know, but I did want to share that tidbit because she certainly emphasized that point. Back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure the ever part, but I mean, who knows? I mean, all Trump has to do or whatever is probably just ask for it, and it will probably be provided. But yeah, no, look, I didn't get to. I mean, we mentioned this. I bought some Oscar yesterday at $14.75 on Oscar. So or was it $14.75? No, that was today. It was $14.75. No, yesterday was $14.80s or $14.90s. It was right into here. Yeah, $14.90, I guess, was yesterday. It dipped into $14.75. That's the low. I don't have that. I have $14.90. So it's not like it's a big winner or anything. It's only up right now 30 cents. But I did buy back into this name. We had first bought it down into here on their last earnings call, and then we got a little bump up. We probably got out, and I'd have to look, probably 25%, like we kind of always do when it rips up into past support. I mean, I'm not trying to predict this move, and sadly enough, I don't believe I got anything out up here. And then again, a little bit out here on the way back down, as that was the same level, and then just reloaded it. But I mean, I wish I would have been able to tell you I got out of everything right there, but that would have been a lie because I did not. So yeah, that's what's happening right now. As far as Oscar is concerned, I agree with Neil. I like that as a get-up play. I really like Oscar, and we're going to wind up holding on to that one. Right now, AMD should be enough to pay for the lights, but we are going back and forth right now with the lights. So if you do see some flickering, we are getting ready, man. The screen behind us is just so impressive. Can't wait to start launching that and having various people sit at that desk, where that chair is.
Yeah, wait till you see
that's
like
a brand new desk, and the bottom's going to have everything. We're going to have tickers. You can see sort of on the top right now we have a scrolling ticker as we go.
I don't know what this thing is. I don't know what that's supposed to be.
That's just more. That's just stocks.
No,
it's just a screen.
But it just has numbers on it. There's no tickers or anything. It's just
stock price. Yeah, it's like an Excel spreadsheet basically with a bunch of numbers.
What I envision Well, we're going to do what I envision right there is something like that would be like these are the top 10 movers on it, or maybe like the top 5 gainers,
that'd be
and
awesome.
then that worked, and then like the top 5 decliners like right underneath. And you know what? We should also take suggestions as well. Like if there's things that you think
Yeah, I
should be
think
up
we
there.
will eventually.
For sure, at some point we'll get there. Let's go to Adara. I think we've got some news. Maybe Microsoft.
I want to take a moment to thank our friends at Beta Pro by Global X Canada because we have some exciting news out of Canada for the sophisticated traders on the stream. Beta Pro by Global X Canada, which happens to be Canada's largest provider of leveraged, inverse, and inverse leverage ETFs, they've just launched 6 new triple leverage ETFs, which offer 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60, semiconductors, and even on U.S. Treasuries. But even better, they're actually offering a special fee rebate, which drops management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st, 2025. And even better, that U.S.-focused strategies use currency hedging, offering the potential for pure performance and exposure. So if you are or happen to be a tactical, sophisticated trader who's looking to amplify your performance, better check out betapro.ca/3x daily. That's betapro.ca/3x daily to learn more as we send you back to Sean and Neil. Hit the like, hit the subscribe.
I was just telling Neil he wasn't here that one day where Obi was trying to code basically this kind of a heat. Yeah, it was not. Yeah, well, it wasn't a screener, but it's the same idea. It was a heat map. He was trying to code exactly this because you can go in and steal this code. Right, it's just on the website. You can grab how it is, and then he put this example into ChatGPT or whatever, and it basically started creating something similar to this. I don't know how far it had gotten or anything like that, but if you are a software developer and you can create something like this heat map for us, please let me know, man. Tweet at me at TraderTV Sean there on X, and we'll see about getting that going. Because a lot of the problem is that we don't want to put up trading views heat map or anything like that. We want to have full control over all the stuff that we show you so we can alter it, change it. Like if we want to have a heat map of just crypto, we can go in there and edit it right away. We don't have to rely on somebody else to do it. And that's why P8, which is what we're using right here, P Pro, this software is something that Neil and I have been using for 20 plus years, and it has like all the keys, it has different setups, and we had Obi asked us for a specific key on Blue Ocean, and we just said, okay, if you want that order type, if it's available, first of all, we just got to sum at 255. Yeah, put it in, and we can at least figure out, you know, if that does give us the goods there.
I'm going to message him right because I bet you he didn't put a ticket in.
Obi, well, he doesn't have the power to put the ticket in, but he needs.
Oh, he doesn't have.
No, he's not a manager.
That means we have one of us. I'll do it.
But yeah, so anyways, that's what we're doing here. I just want to show you, like we did get out of half of our trade there. I only had less than 15% left. So it wasn't a huge out rate there, but we said we were going to get out once it breaks the 50-period moving average. And just to go, and it was Chris Ocean there on the chat that had mentioned to me, and it was, why don't we use some sort of lines to get out so we can hold for a little bit longer? But look, like, you know, we're able to get out near these lows because we did that. And if we had got out on the 50-period break, most of them would have came out there. So I wonder net probably would have been similar of an out. So I'll continue to study that and look to see, and that's all that I do is think about the market and my kids. So at the end of the day, you know, I'll work on that, but we've done pretty good with our entries. It's just our exits right there that we have to not be as sort of in and out so much. Like we planted some red roses here, and then here we planted some purple roses. Purple, of course, being short. So we went long to short right there. I think we've taken probably $18, $19, $20 or so out of AMD so far today. I mean, what a good stock it's been. Trading today with tons of volume, almost 100 million shares, as opposed to NVIDIA, which of course is less value now than AMD. And actually, it's done more shares, actually. I thought AMD would have done more shares today, but 100, not even close. Well, it's 120.
It's almost like you need to, because when you look at the market cap difference, like relative to size, AMD's probably done more shares. It's just, what are you going to do? Like NVIDIA is such a big part of the index, it's almost impossible for it not to do more volume. It doesn't mean it's more in play, though. Like AMD's more in play, but NVIDIA, everyone has to trade it because it is everything. I want to remind everybody, like OpenDoor, oh, where is it? I lost, shoot. Oh, I lost the, oh, there it is. OpenDoor is going to the MSCI US small, whatever, small cap index upweight of like 7.7 million. So even though I think it's going to be something at the close, there's a seller that is obviously not. Here, do I have my level 2? It's not linked. You know what's annoying? I just realized you can't link to multiple windows. So if I have a stock window linked to like a chart, I can't link 2 stock windows to the same chart. It's weird, only one. But see this seller? That's a gateway that is not really used by anybody but like a lot of day traders. So it's kind of like a legitimate, someone's either entering a big short position or actually profit-taking and just wants to sit there and take that fill on OpenDoor. So that's the reason for getting out. But I fully intend sometime before 350, because it's a NASDAQ stock, we will not know if there's going to be a buy and bounce on this until it comes out. So with this one, if there's a chance to get on a dip, I'm just going to try and do it, because unlike I can show you Kenview has an early looking bounce, CNQ's got an early looking bounce, we're not going to know if there's one on Archer on this until 350. On Archer, we would. Like on Archer, I'm going to know, hopefully like 330, whether there is supposed to be a buy. And we're expecting over 7 million on both of those 2 names. Right now, I see absolutely nothing. I can scroll. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing in here for either one of those names. But both of them are supposed to be about 7.5 million shares to buy. I do have an offer at VWAP here, but just like Open, I think it could be a big trade at the close. Did we miss David's super chat? Yeah, we might
just put it up.
What's the super chat? Did you ever confirm my guess about NVIDIA H chips and 1.2? I don't think we did. Our bad. I don't know where Mark is. We probably have to message that directly to Mark, but you're very curious about how specifically that video wall is spec'd out. So I'll literally send that to Mark. I think we did send one of your guesses to Mark, but maybe it wasn't that one, I suppose. I thought we did.
It was nothing
we did, but
I didn't.
I thought I did.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, so what else we want to talk about? We went over sort of some of the things that you guys had listed on your boards for us to discuss, right? And so let me just go back to that now to see if there's any other names on here. I mean, we looked at, you know, we didn't look at Tesla today. That's 430, eh? That's really coming in. Now actually on Tesla. So maybe a quick look over here as we have a good look on there, down 2% right now. LPTX Leap, I heard Sharif talking a little bit about that trade as well. But yeah, Tesla down 2%. Wow, didn't really have a great day to start with here and not really recovering. I mean, nor is the NASDAQ really. I mean, it's still underneath VWAP. We are getting a nice little recovery there, but Tesla on, I don't know what the worries are right now. I mean, we do talk about their fledgling car business, which they're still selling a shoot ton of cars, just maybe not as much as expected there for Tesla in China. And then we do see, obviously, year-over-year declines in that segment, but we still wait for FSD and we wait for the big announcements on robotaxi. And yeah, as the market comes back in, you know, we can't go boohoo about Tesla when you have names like Meta and all that are really cracking a lot lower. I mean, Tesla is one of the only mega cap names. And I'm just so happy that I put some more Apple in my account a little while ago. But this name is still above the 50-period moving average because it had such an aggressive move from that 350. Oh, I was talking, remember I was saying that Tesla was 200 in April. I'd mentioned that and I wasn't sure after I'd mentioned it. I wasn't sure if it got that low. But there it is right now, 430. So that's a double up. And it's just been an aggressive move. I almost feel like its home is somewhere in here. That was a nice bump up there. And we made new highs. We didn't make new highs, sorry. We came into its past old 52-week and all-time high in and around 480. I guess those wicks aren't right, but up in here to 480, 490, and we got within dollars of that again, man. I mean, I remember sitting here watching this 470 break and looking at some levels like that, and now you're just all the way back down, 10% down. So, you know, Tesla's only 10% from its highs, so I don't want to cry wolf or like be too worried about that stock when you have a name like Meta that was $800, I believe is the high set. Let's call it 8 bills. And that's all the way down to 6 right now. So this is down, you know, 25% and almost in a straight line off of earnings with no real bump up. at all. I mean, we had a bump up of 2% yesterday, but that gives it all the way back in and covers it all up right here again. So, you know, remember, Tesla's at the 50-period moving average. A lot of these other names, which is why I indicate Google as a stock that I want to buy if it can come back in a little bit. That'd have to get to 260, so we're still a ways away. Amazon's kind of lucky because they had that huge news with OpenAI right here, which created some instant love right back there to the upside and basically gave them this whole move. Like, if that's not announced, Amazon's probably, you know, 220, 2.25. So I think that that's probably a good buy zone, which happens to land right where we need it to at the 50 period. So Amazon and Google are two names for me that I'm looking to buy on dips, right? And so we are going to get to the chopper in just a couple minutes as we enter a certain hour of power. But yeah, those are the names that are on my buy list. Although yesterday I did buy Oscar. I'm talking about like mega buys. If we can do something like that, I would be pretty happy to get more long in those space, but I don't know. So long, all of these names.
It's the one thing, like everyone's always overexposed for sure. Lion in the chat said that they shorted OpenDoor. I understand the impulse at $9, and anything can happen. I know it's supposed to be a buy and bounce, but sometimes that ends up being short. If everyone's expecting it to be a buy and bounce and it comes out a sell, then this could absolutely dump. But there were buyers that immediately, like the second this topping tail candle happened, there were buyers immediately at the prior high. Like it zipped down and we got to 880, and then the first spot where you think there might be buyers, they came in hot and like really, really fast. Just be careful with this. It's a squeeze name. I find when the market is, I've said this so many times, but it's true. When the market is boring, it's like these squeeze type of stocks where if you go against the grain on them, it can get really dangerous because there's not much else to look at. So if a bunch of money starts chasing this, you find yourself in a little bit of trouble on OpenDoor. So we'll see. And again, this could easily work out. For now, it's actually a pretty good topping tail candle, but that's not something I would touch. Someone just said in the chat it could hit $10. I don't think it hits $10 today. That seems unlikely. However, on the other side of the coin, BMNR, if you look at, ETH is actually having not as bad a day as Bitcoin, I believe. Maybe at least at 34, Bitcoin could break 100,000, at least in the next couple of sessions. But BMNR, we've seen this be one of the best, I guess, afternoon trades or just trades in general at real trading. And it was simply when it would be doing not much and then break away. Like, look at how long that consolidation was, and then it broke away. So because that happened and it was in the afternoon, like I've got this one on my mind at these closes sometimes because we know it can have that type of a rally. So I've got this on the back burner that if we start breaking out above 40, 50, look, obviously it doesn't look like it's doing it right now, but any day where I see it in a very tight range for a very long time, I'm gonna look for some randomness like this in either direction. Like it did the other day, because we know some actual bank got made on this. The trend was tremendous, the volume was good, and it was just like acceleration. That could happen in both directions, but it's been oddly quiet on BMNR today. And the longer that happens, the more it makes me feel, this could be wild if it were to break out. Not happening yet, but we just entered power hour, and that one's also gonna be on my radar. So maybe an open dip, I'm not sure if we get it. Archer probably not going to dip. The Apple was the other thing I was looking at VWAP.
Apple, yeah.
Apple's right back into VWAP. That's not a real, it is a real wick. So it just wicked the volume weighted average price and about to close above. Okay, that would be somewhat bullish, at least a little bit. If it holds VWAP on this candle, then you've grabbed under VWAP, and maybe you can get a small bounce with a stop at that low of the day. Dropped system. Asking about that QH stock. I couldn't find a story on QH. Kuho Limited. Kuho is not setting up the same way, I don't think, because it's coming off a crazy move recently and is consolidating. What I was talking about on BMNR, it hasn't done anything. Like there hasn't been a move today. It's just not done anything and is consolidating. This just went ham, lost it. I don't necessarily love these. And I didn't find a story here, but it's like a 35% short float on like a 600,000 float, which is wild. So it's both a big short float and a tiny float. and that's probably why it had a bit of a squeeze, but volume tapering off, don't see much of anything. And then go back over to Apple.
Yeah, we have everybody in the chat that's asking about CPI. I mean, Adair is listening to see if there's any news, but we don't think it's coming tomorrow. But
Yeah, I don't know.
First, we need the government to reopen, and then hopefully they can get us some data. And Adair has mentioned that that October number may not come, period, at all. So we'll have to wait to see if that comes through. I just got some more out here at 55 on AMD. We got 55 there. We got 55. That's 55.20s. But we did get some more out, as I don't know where this name's going to go from here. Might just hang out. I have now less than 5% left on this trade, so it's just kind of like, let's wait to see where we go from here. All right, can you zoom in, Andre, because this is the market's been real flat, man, pretty much since the open. We had a nice move down. We've made some moves higher, moves lower. So let's just, this is like a self-curated watch list of all the major stocks that I watch. So that's probably good, Andre. So yeah, like AMD, just to look over some of the names today, like AMD up 7% today. Affirm, nicely cooking right now. And maybe if I move this over a little bit, we can call them up on here. So there goes Affirm right now, up 8%. Sorry, that was AMD, up 5% here, Affirm. But look, not doing much right now. Could be possibly breaking above that 79. We do have some nice rebounds for DraftKings over the last little while. DraftKings was completely left for dead down at $26, and now it's just been huge on the upside right there. Now up 20% from that low. That's huge for DraftKings. Congratulations on that. We did get a story earlier also about Starbucks, so you can see that sort of on the way back up as well after bouncing solely off that 80, which was such a nice trade. That's now up 20% off those lows as well. This is what I mean, man. I'm trying to look in other spots. I gave you guys Lulu, Target, Oscar, few other names, Marvell, which is still in the same space, but looking elsewhere. Netflix could be an interesting name as well, as that's up 2%. This is against down markets, right? All these names are up against down markets. We talked about SoFi was another one that goes sort of, against the grain a little bit. JP Morgan, the name that I'm actually not getting out of and just watching this one continue to go to all-time highs. That's at 320. That's had a nice downside push today, but still up that 1.26%. Micron, SMH, Microsoft still holding green as well. And these are the ones that are just back and forth, Marvell and SPY. Let's just change this up and go to see what's down today. So this is brought to you by eSignal, by the way. You can see it's actually on our screen right now. So this is, again, just a self-curated list of names that I look at. Most of these names I either hold or look at them in the long-term portfolio. Palantir, the worst one of the day. So thank you so much, Alex Karp and Company.
Why is the firm up?
For that one, I don't know. Affirm had good earnings like last week, so that's up. Oracle just continues, man. Oracle has been... again, like I'm gonna look like this is gonna look smart, but like the fact that we got out of this $100 ago, like I don't even know how that happened. I started to think.
Sorry, I'm just saying, I'm just waiting for Oracle to crumble. I've talked about this.
Yeah,
I'm on the Michael Burry side of things here. And if people are curious, maybe we can get into the recap, but I've done the research and it looks grim.
Yeah, so I don't know if I just channeled my inner Adair there or not, but we got out of this one at 319, like honestly, right into there. And I was just like, it had such a huge move up, and I was long from $100. So that was a good one. And I don't know, I hope it goes back. I know there's a lot of people in that. Meta bad. Neil had an SMCI trade on today. That's down 3%. But yeah, that's what's going on. Oh, wow. Okay. This name, Alibaba, is getting into my zone for sure. Let me get in my zone. So I sold some AMD today. I will put that money back to work, and I will do it almost immediately with Alibaba. So I'm going to try to figure this out, see when they report. Maybe we'll wait for the day or two after they report, because, good report now just means that you're going to get crushed. So we don't want Alibaba to have a good report. We actually want them to have a bad report, and then they can go back up like Oklo. But right there, Alibaba right now, well back in.
2 weeks.
Glad yeah, I thought it was November 4th. Is it 14th? I thought it was.
25th. Apparently.
25th. Okay,
well,
so
that's according to what I just read.
That's probably right. Ways away for Alibaba. And this has been the punch in the face right there. Let's just flush this one down. We were lucky enough to get out of SMR at 57, but stupid enough to buy it back at 30. So, all right, so we make $27 on the upside there, and now we're down stuck 4 right here. So still okay, but we'll wait on SMR, as I think that there's some love on that name. But I thought with Oklo making the move back higher that there might have been a chance for SMR today. But yeah, this name still gets kicked in the face. But
I'm not guessing on SMR.
no, I'm not trying to guess either. I took profits where profits lied, and we're lucky enough again to get out of that one at 57. So.
I'm holding, no matter what, I'm holding a third of that one, and literally that.
That
forever.
was my strategy.
The thing about SMR, and I've said this before, the only kernel of positivity between them and Oklo was just that they have a design approval for their small modular reactor design. Like they don't have to they have to worry about building it successfully and getting customers. They don't have to worry about whether or not it meets regulatory specs, which Oklo does still. So they're a little bit ahead in that regard, but it's all pie in the sky for all of them, unless you are a Constellation, GE Vernova, or Vistra. That's the third one. Those are the big names. Like we talk about Quantum, like Quantum is for real Google, IBM, and Microsoft. And then for Dream, it's Rigetti, D-Wave, IONQ, and whatever the fourth one is. I think it's, I don't know, QBT. That's the fourth one. That's exactly the comparison I like to make there. So actually, I was just back in SMCI. I'm trying to short all these little mini pops in here. If we can come to the chart for a second. Like every time it does a mini pop into a prior high, I want to try to take it. It got into a prior high. This one didn't work. But if it gets to like 37.90 to 38, I would try it again. The other thing that happened is still happening. It's now past 3 o'clock. Is Archer got to VWAP. So much like OpenDoor, this is supposed to be a big buy and bounce at the close. If I see this one pop up, which it's not there yet, yeah, CanView still CanView SU. If I see it pop up and I want to add to the long at some point, maybe at VWAP is where it would be. Until then, just kind of holding on. When this broke trend, I was like, okay, well, if it's a downward trend, yesterday it did this on an uptrend that ended up like a 1.4 million imbalance. But today's the day that it's supposed to be big. So that's where I'd expect a little something to happen. Ooh, Apple does not hold it. Apple just couldn't hold on to VWAP. Couldn't do it. Like the bottoming tail cap candle happened, but no green candle afterwards, just more red. So it's one thing to like VWAP, but what I like to see is there's your wick, there's your hold of VWAP, there's the buying, and then try to get into the long. There was none of that. It's just all breakdown here for Apple, which can't bode well for the market if Apple's heading lower. What about Softy? If Softy breaks too, yeah, Softy's on the verge of breaking down as well. Not looking good for the market holding, I'd say holding gains, but there aren't any gains for them to hold. The market's down today.
Yeah. I mean, trying to buy some of these high-quality names, as we say, it's definitely something worth doing. I mean, tonight we only have Cisco. We just tweeted those out. I mean, there is Adair and Neil will be on the show there tonight. And it's Cisco and it's Serve. So not much going on right now. That is not ServiceNow, of course. That is Serve Robotics.
I think they're late.
And that's,
they're late.
Yeah, she wrote down here 445. So it's Cisco, which, unfortunately, moves a couple percentage points at best on most earnings.
Well, 20 years ago, Cisco was fire.
Yeah, Cisco still is fire. No, it's still a good stock, but it's not moving the same way. It's not.
Cisco's done okay.
Yeah, Cisco's been great. I still like, for me, I'm still holding all of my CrowdStrike, and if those of you that are not aware of Adara's powers, watch this. Adara, what day did CrowdStrike have that outage?
July 19th, 2024.
Okay, so there it is right there, July 19th, 2024. So I said...
Yeah, but what time did it happen?
Never doubt. If she knows the time, she might even know the time.
If she knows the time, I'm going to get up and do a lap or something.
Yeah, then get ready to do a lap. Because that's basically when I bought CrowdStrike. I gave it a couple days since after that. I mean, I don't think we got it that exact day, so I don't have to look...
I was thinking about, I don't know the exact time, but it was certainly early in the morning. Yeah. I would say between like midnight and 4 a.m. That's just a guess, though. Again, I was asleep when it happened.
Yeah, when we came to work...
I was close to having to do a lap there.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there was an exact... Because I think it was just one of those things that they rolled out software, and then as it hit different... as people upgraded or, it got rolled out. But there it is right there. So, it did continue to go a little bit lower. I probably gave it the good old 3-day rule in there. So if this is when it happened, July 19th or whatever day. What day did you say again? Right, yeah, so July 19th was that day right here. And then the 20th, 21, 22. And I mean, I can look back and see where exactly I'm long, but somewhere in this area, and I haven't sold a dime. So CrowdStrike, I just really like the space. And obviously that gave us an opportunity to dip by that. This would have been another one. These 200 periods, all great. I do think that I'm similarly long. And the reason why I bring this up is because we talk about our earnings today, which is Cisco, which is also in networking and in cybersecurity and all that, firewalls and whatnot. Palo Alto has been a similar stock. This split, so this is going to have probably a bad chart in a minute right there. But yeah, I again like this stock and still in this and looking to get longer, to be honest with you, in some of the cyber names. So I don't know which ones you guys like out there. There's the Hack ETF. That sort of holds them all. There's Fortinet. Oh, FTNT. This got destroyed not even that long ago. And I just want to see if there was. Oh yeah, nice pickup there. I mean, there it goes to show you. I think you know, trading the right trends and the right.
Back buys this on dips. You know.
Oh, Mateo, yeah, that guy.
I think the last couple, he's like Fortinet on dips.
Yeah, too bad about that. But yeah, right into there here, that was a good move there, 75. If you're able to not only get that was huge. So good move there for Fortinet. The reason why I say too bad, I mean, unless you literally bought 75,
you have to buy it. With that one, you had to buy the dip.
Yeah.
Like right the day of or the day after.
So I like all those stocks, and I think that there's a lot of money to be made in cybersecurity, even moving forward. Why buy the loser if you can buy the winner? There's one more that's a super hot stock. It's CrowdStrike.
Oh, you're thinking Zscaler probably.
Zscaler, that's what it was. Yeah.
Zscaler was like better for a really long time. And then I'd say not so much. Like it was really good if you go back to like from the April low, it was really good. And then like it's still good. I mean, whatever. Like it was literally at its highs like 5 days ago. But it's just not as parabolic as it was before. Because this was going ham for a moment.
Zscaler is great.
It's been but there was a point when it was easily doing better than CrowdStrike. But I don't think you can make that comment anymore for Zscaler. But the trend is your friend. And if it breaks, it breaks. Like this one, sometimes it's easier to find the quality names. We say this with GM and Ford all the time. You know, you don't have to guess when the chart makes it obvious to you. And therefore, don't guess. A lot of times, if you don't know, buy the one that performs better. Buy the one that's trending.
I mean, there's a good point there, right in the chat. I mean, I'm gonna find this, right, and this is the kind of stuff that I'm always thinking about, and I think you have to think like this. Oh, it's from you, David. Yeah, okay. Cybersecurity is so key when quantum gets useful, right? And it's like so many people there's gonna be so many hacks out there that continue to happen. The faster these computers get, the more the coding starts to figure out just simple 2FA and all this kind of stuff. Once these things get cracked, then I think that there is gonna be a big push. So I like that, David. So I go +1 for you on that.
Think about the firms.
I like that talk, right? I mean, I think it's like my kid asks me, he's like, Dad, you own all these shares of all these companies. Like, what if you wake up one day and they're no longer in your account? And I'm like, damn, that's a pretty good point right there. Like, I don't know, someone could hack into Wall Street, and when and if that does happen, or into your broker, and next thing you know, like, poor Joe doesn't own any more Bitcoin. Like, I don't know what's going to happen.
My broker had a glitch this afternoon.
There you go, right?
I couldn't buy or sell anything for like an hour and a half. It was just that. And I'm not saying they got hacked or anything like that, but like.
Oh, they probably did. But I mean, it's going to be patched.
I'll never know.
No, they'll probably never tell you. But yeah, that's the scary thing, right? Is not being able to do that. I don't know about everything getting stolen, but it's just about not having access. And I think that's what made crypto kind of special. But now everybody's holding IBIT and all that kind of stuff. The good part about crypto, and I still have a chunk on my ledger, and that is that cold storage. You know, is that this thing, and, you know, hopefully I remember the password, you know, this thing is just locked away in the safe right now. And I'll just be handing that over. Here you go, son. You know, welcome to your inheritance. Try to figure out how to get into it. But by that time, I feel like, you know, more people will, you know, be
hopefully. The Axelrod styles.
Yeah, I didn't actually finish watching all of Billions. What season?
I don't even know. My favorite thing was when he would.
Right when I was getting into crypto.
But he just wouldn't use the word Bitcoin on the show. It was so annoying.
Were they not allowed?
I don't know, because he would bribe people and he'd literally hand them the stick and be like, and here's X million whatever in crypto. I'm like the ass you're not using Bitcoin. You're talking about like tens of millions of dollars here, and you're a big billionaire hedge fund guy. Like as if you're paying people off in fart coin.
Could have been fart coin. It could have been Melania coin. You know?
I actually think so. Sorkin is a producer on the show. I actually think they made a concerted effort not to say Bitcoin, so that
I guess
think they're not favoring
That'd be
something,
interesting
which
to look
made
that
it
up.
ridiculous to me. And when you take me, what I don't like in a show or a movie. It's that moment where something gets said or done, which takes you out of the moment of, hey, I'm with this story, and then you like it's just utter nonsense to just. It's so obvious that you're talking about Bitcoin. It just doesn't make any sense. It would be like handing someone a tissue and not saying it's a Kleenex, or taking an Uber ride and being like not using Uber. Like what are we doing here?
I mean, maybe Raheem was in a Lyft and he just called it an Uber. You know, you never know. You know.
Was he even really in
or
an
maybe
Uber
Raheem
flight?
was just late. Nobody will ever know.
Was he really in an Uber
Nobody
this
will
morning?
ever know. You know.
I want proof.
I don't think he can provide that.
No, it doesn't matter.
But so I just want to say, I just get breaking through 256. You know, it fell back in. We got an out there at 256. I now have 3% left of this trade, and it is a small one. As we'll wait to see if there are any follow through here. As the market again, I was just like, as we talk about, you know, some different things, and we went over some stocks and everything like that, and what was moving today and not moving. You know, the market has really been the problem. It's been a downside push right off the open. Everything sold off, man. We got rinsed in Google and in the futures, and then all of a sudden, man, we just put on our Superman cape and did what we did to AMD, and you know, and now we just kind of wait. Like I think forcing a trade rate here, as we're literally in the middle. We bounced off 25.5, so that's good. If we can get back into there maybe tomorrow, I definitely am thinking that long could be worth printing or looking at least anyways, down into there if we can get 25.5 or potentially, what time is it, 3:20? If the market really gets going right now, I don't think it has enough legs to even like get up here and then want to get going unless we get a story. So we'll keep our ears to the ground for some news. And if there is anything, then Adara will most likely say something like, come to me, please. And then Andre will in our ear say, go to Adara. And then I will say, yes, Adara.
And I will say, Sean, we have a story. Keep an eye here in RRX. It's Regal Rexnord Corporation. It's on the NYSE. Here's TSLA, though, because Tesla's kind of involved. It has to do with a note from James Altucher. I've mentioned his name a lot on the show just in general because he basically has this newsletter where he talks a lot about potentially M&A or merger and acquisition related notes mostly. This time, though, he's commenting that he believes RRX or Regal Rexnord Corporation could be the, quote, backdoor way to invest in Tesla's robot army. So TSLA not really moving on this, but RRX is getting roughly $1.50 pop here. Again, it's a $135 name. It is on the NYSE. RRX, as we send you back to Neil and Sean, guys, like and subscribe.
Thanks, as always. There, yeah, always looking for a story that can move the markets. Apparently, LPTX, okay, well, they technically do have a story. I was going to say doesn't need a story to do what it's doing. Most of it is going to be all these halts that are up here. These guys, it's crazy. These guys reported and now are up 450%. And what's wild about this has done 700 million in volume. There is something seriously broken. There's so many halts for this stock that my halt scanner today is basically just this one stock. Like, what is going on that you can halt probably 24 times, yet have $700 million, sorry, 700 million in volume going through on a $2 stock? That should mean so much liquidity that you shouldn't have all this trouble. Like, why the need to halt it all these times? Tons of liquidity with this thing. But for everyone trading it, here, we'll show you the old, well, it's good now, but will it be good later chart. That's the example. You are essentially right back into the last time this looked like it had support was at $2.50. The chart speaks for itself, what happened after that, and it just tagged $2.48, which is really close to $2.50. It has yet to break that. So this is the big level on LPTX. It hasn't been able to get through. Just be careful. If this false breaks, the last time it did this, it got up here and then reversed. It literally halted down and then trailed back 40%. So this seems a little bit dangerous up here. And yeah, it's annoying, Nate. It halts every 15 cents when it closes underneath 75 cents the previous day. there are mechanisms by which they could change the halt bands for previous penny stocks or stocks that are penny stocks, and then in real time when it gets to a higher price, being able to do it more reasonably. I just think nobody seems to care enough to make it more reasonable. That's all. They could have the halt bands, you know, sort of expand a little bit on a stock like this in real time if they wanted to, but you know, no one cares about these things enough. You know who wins? And I've shown you guys this chart a million times, but I'm going to show it to you again. Here's who's winning. And not to harp my ex or anything. There's a million other gateways you could be using. These guys win. They came to market and literally nobody cared. And all they do is they provide a book that we see. They provide liquidity or a book for you where you can provide liquidity. So here is OpenDoor, MEMX, that's them, and MIX. Those are their two gateways. And so every time someone transacts on that gateway, boom, they make money. Doesn't matter if they buy or sell. So when a stock like that does 700 million shares, they take their little bit of that cut and make straight cash, homie. And this stock has gone up since its IPO. How many IPOs look like this year? I'm going to give you a hint. One. And if there's another one, show it to me. I don't think there is. Is it a Citadel scan, Dijon Mustard? No. It's not a Citadel scan. There's a difference between the gateways that get executed on and then a firm like Citadel. It's not quite the same thing. I think I know what you're trying to get at, but it's not the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, so Serve Robotics tonight. I mean, I think that if we're going to look at, you know, potential setups here heading into earnings, we only have half hour away until these earnings hit. You know, this Serve Robotics has been served to the downside quite dramatically. But at the end of the day, you're looking for value and you're looking for a good trade. And I think if you know anything about it, and robotics has been, you know, right now hot topic. I mean, we talked about the ARC Robotics, which is what I'm in. We have Ridge Tech Robotics as well. But yeah, right into here, you're now just underneath the 200 period moving average and looking a little lower. I would say, like, if you get any dips on Serve into like this is just 950. Like, it's not that far away from where we're at right now. We're at 1030. So with an implied move of, I'll just check Adara's note just real quickly here. Implied move of, wow, 11%, you know, you could get into this 860 or so area. Now, I just want to say, like, if that happens, it's a little bit of a later report. We have it written down at 445. So if it does happen and you do get a move down and it looks to bounce off something, that might be a good long, as we've seen some of these names that haven't had the greatest reports actually start to go back to the upside, like an OpenDoor, like BigBear AI, many squeeze names. I'd have to look through them, the ones that reported in the last couple of weeks. All were sort of taken back to the UI path. We're all taken back up to the upside on not overly great reports. So watch out for that, and just to see if there is some sort of a support down here near $9, that could be your get up zone to get back up. So if there's a possibility there, I kind of like that stock and like the opportunity for robotics moving forward. So we'll see what kind of a report they do have. I think it is dangerous to get involved with names pre-earnings, especially ones, and I have to look, they probably don't have any EPS right now. I like IoT. This is a name that I've been buying, but I've only really bought it once and rated in about here. The 50 periods will 39 flat or so on IoT, Internet of Things. So this is another name that's, I really just like the setup on it because it's not doing anything, but I'm not sure when they report. I'm kind of waiting to see IoT here. So there it is, unconfirmed 12th. So December 4th.
So Serve?
So right there, yeah. What's up with Serve?
They don't have a PE.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Their price to sales, they're trading at, and this doesn't even seem like a real number, but here, I'll show it to you just because it's ridiculous enough that, just so you can see that I'm not making it up. I have to scroll back to it. The price to sales are 350 times sales. They're trading at 350 times sales without a PE. Oh, nothing can go wrong. Nothing.
No.
But you know what? What's crazy about that? That doesn't mean it's bad necessarily, right? Like Rigetti goes up, or the quantum names go up too. Like if you're talking about like future growth, sometimes you've got to suck it up, buttercup, and like something that looks terrible fundamentally. or at least looks poor fundamentally. So, you know, like I said, like this is a name where there's plenty of risk to the downside, but what I didn't tell you is the short float is 21% as well. So what happens if they have some kind of a surprise positively here? Then we could be talking breakout on this name tomorrow. I have no idea. You just got to be willing to play it in either direction that it's going to go. So we don't have any data. Yeah, it's a NASDAQ name, OpenDoor, so I can't tell you there's going to be a buy amount, but it is breaking out for sure. Hinsey wants a poll. Usually we do the polls of this week have all been earnings based. Trying to think here. The biggest story today was probably AMD. What is it? Maybe we can do an over/under on AMD. I don't know what else you could do a poll on because Serve Robotics, Cisco. I don't think we're going to do a poll on Cisco. ES closing green, maybe. ES is flat, so we could do that as a poll. I'll just make that one up. We're going to go ES, red or green, because I don't have anything else to go with. There's nothing crazy happening in the market. There's no big earnings, so we can just, is the market going to be able to close green today? I'll throw that up.
Yeah, the market, will be the NASDAQ, of course, because ES is green. So, all right, yeah, good poll there. And I mean, here's another example, BigBear AI. I mean, you guys know that we're part of the brigade. We may even be leading the brigade. And, you know, this name right here, 16% up there today without an EPS, right? And so we just talked about them coming through with earnings. So equating it to Serve is not horrible. Let's see if Shopify just came across my scanner. So let's have a quick little look here as it's 3:30, getting ready for the, yeah, there it is. So what a surprise, it comes across the scanner right at VWAP. So a nice little move higher there for Shopify. You know, made that bottom there. I don't know, I still really like the stock, although we are well off of the highs in this Canadian behemoth. But yeah, 180 down to 160 potential buy zone here for Shopify for sure. But as you go, good possible level here for the short. I don't think we talked about will the NASDAQ get back to VWAP there today, possible shorting area. I'd rather wait and short this. Let's see if we get a little bit of an extension and then a short opportunity right into here for the futures. But Shopify, a good little look if you're looking for something to do. I'm not. Right there, I was just saying I'm pretty exhausted. We've traded a lot today, put a lot of energy into the show, and a lot of you know, trading capital gone today mentally. So I mean, it's been, like I said, one of the better days of the month for me, and really happy with the way it's all going down. Roblox also coming up on the scanner here today. Wow, this one's been getting crushed during this move down. I remember this name at 140, 150. Yeah, there it is. Roblox over the last couple of days just whap right back in. Again, I like this name. So some work to be done probably on Roblox moving forward right now because, yeah, there's some headlines. They had some child concerns there, which are obviously legitimate, but I don't know. I don't think Roblox is the sort of the gaming thing right now. Watch it bouncing clean off of a hunch. Right there. I'll pick up some more Roblox too at some point. Let's just wait to see. I don't mind missing the bottom on this name because normally I would have been like, oh, maybe this 120 there, but it's still a falling knife. And when you're catching falling knives, you don't really start anything until the 200 period, or for me, 3 days after earnings, right? Which is what we did with Lululemon. But yeah, right into there, the 200 period moving average, $96 there for Roblox. So I think this is another opportunity. Again, a big, they will benefit from AI, but they don't need this whole open AI thing to really work for them to work. Roblox continues to get money taken off of my account every single month there. But yeah, $99 right now for Roblox. But one of my kids has the Roblox and the other one has the PlayStation Plus. So they're liking life, that is for sure. But yeah, Roblox, good movement here to the downside if you're looking to pick up something on value. Well, I think when stocks do that, if you like them, you just nibble in. Just nibble in. What I learned the biggest from ARM missing it the first time is don't worry about trying to get the bottom. If you like it and it's at a discount, then just pick some up. It's an easy way to do it. With about 30 minutes to go here, BBAI is a buy. Like, why isn't this OpenDoor? Or, sorry, Archer. The both of them are supposed to be buys. But the more I don't see an early look buy on Archer,
the less I'm inclined to think that it's going to happen. So if it's still 340, 345 and it doesn't pop up here, I would just get out of it and not even consider the rebuy. QBTS is also a decent buy. That's 900,000 shares. See, D-Wave, there's another name that doesn't make any money that we were just talking about with a buy and balance at the low of the day. It's always a bit more intriguing if you have a random buy and balance when a stock is at the low of the day. So if this were to come out a buy, that's a decent chunk, 1 million shares into 30 million. When the stock is at a pretty big support level of $26. So if Archer ends up being a nothing burger on the imbalances, maybe QBTS can get thrown up on one of my level 2s in its stead. So I'm going to watch this, Archer and Open, 2 of which I'm hoping to be big, and then QBTS, you never know. If it's 1 million shares and you can grab it off the low with a stop at the bottom, maybe you get a quick little spike to said upside, which the market's trying to do. I guess Softy must have, yeah, Softy back to the highs. Because Softy was one heck of a reversal at $500. It was Obi that pointed this one out to me. It's so close. Like, I think we said that sometime this week we get above that 50 period on Microsoft, and then it's only a matter of time before the retest of the high. Sleeping giant, Softy is. And every time Softy is a sleeping giant, good things tend to happen. Like, look when it took the 50 period down here. It's kind of like, look at the downtrend, regain the 50 period, bye-bye. Now, look at, oh, it's off the tops. Oh no, Softy doesn't look so good. Retake the 50 period, and hopefully the same thing happens. That's what I'm waiting for. I think that's going to be a buy. I don't think I've bought Microsoft in my personal account in a very, very long time. But I think there's something brewing here for them. Now let's go over to Adair.
Here's a look at what to expect from these earnings names tomorrow before the bell in terms of implied moves. Smallest implied move is JD, and it's still 6%. Largest are going to be Canadian Solar and Bitfarms, coming through both just under 12%. And guys, at 8 a.m. tomorrow, we are expecting earnings from SharpLink Gaming, or SBET. This is one of those crypto treasury plays often referred to on this show as SBET. So lots of excitement here, guys. X at TTV Research. There's also going to be a Disney-specific earnings infographic on the way. If you are a Disney fan, I already have posted some fun visuals on X for Disney. And then JD and Billy also, sorry, not Billy, just 2 Billies, working on an earnings preview graphic for those as well. Again, X at TTV Research for all of your infographic needs.
They should have a third Billy in there.
Yeah.
There should be a third one.
A Billy.
I like the way that rolled off the tongue. I was asking the chat which earnings name we're looking the closest at. That was from Famila. I mean, tonight it's Cisco. Tomorrow, okay, I just put up Billy because Adara just mentioned it. No, tomorrow morning it'll be Disney for me. You know, I think JD's an interesting name as well. I prefer Baba, but the JD's interesting. But it's Disney because Disney's making power moves. Well, hoping to make power moves. Accumulation. Somebody's been buying Disney at 110, 100%. And now when it starts to go off that level, just don't screw up tomorrow morning. I almost said tonight. Just don't screw up tomorrow morning, and this stock has a chance to get back into some of those highs. You can say, I can gripe all I want about Disney, you know, kind of screwing the pooch with regards to Star Wars and some other things, but you know, certainly this is one that does not get its due for the other 2 segments of their business, which print money. They unfairly seem to only be tied to, and I get it, streaming's a big deal. They also closed some deals recently, which should bode well for them. But that's a downtrend being broken. So Disney, out of the earnings named before tomorrow's bell, this is the one that I'm the most closely watching. But for tonight, I mean, it's Cisco because it's only Cisco. Like, there's nobody else big reporting. I mean, Serve, I guess. But tonight it'll be Cisco, but also reviewing some of what we saw here today, taking your questions, going over some big names. Like, we can talk about how the Mag 7 or what's the word I want to use here? Not fragmenting, moving away from each other, pulling away. Like, there's just, the Mag 7's not a group anymore. You know, they're kind of like New Edition. It was a cool group back in the day, but then they just had to go their own ways. You know, there's some solo acts, but then you had Bill Biv DeVoe where they stayed a little bit of a group and stayed strong. You know what I mean? Like right now, like Google
like
and NVIDIA. No, but Google, NVIDIA, and Amazon are staying tight-knit up near the highs, but everyone else is breaking off. Meta's like Ralph. You know, they went on the solo act and did nothing with it. So it's like one of those. Like when a big group breaks up, you know, some things like that will happen, and that's what's happening. It's just not the same. And you can't, the Mag 7 almost, I know they're all big, but they just don't move together. So I don't know why we care about them as a group as much anymore. You got to start thinking of them on their own merits currently, at least in terms of price action. Because with Meta, they're the advertising. When you look at Google and NVIDIA, they're very more directly, and Microsoft as well, directly AI. Google, you get a little bit of quantum. The big moat when it comes to Amazon, but they're also stuck with the consumer as well. But then for them, it's all about the cloud, and that's why you can still group them together. With Apple, that's your protection name. Like Apple is, the devices are selling like hotcakes, and AI will run on the devices, and then throw in the fact that they're not doing a CapEx spend. What's the difference? Meta's doing big CapEx spend, Apple is not. And so right now, Apple's being rewarded for it. Let's go to it, Eric.
Here on INTC, Fox business interview with Lisa Su of AMD happening right now. And apparently she was asked if the company's considering a partnership with Intel. And she said, quote, "We're always considering options, never say never." So Lisa Su not directly dismissing the idea of an Intel partnership. For what it's worth, previously, and by previously I mean in early October, when announcing the partnership between AMD and OpenAI, Lisa Su was asked about Intel and she all but denied it. So this is actually a little bit more open-ended comment from CEO Lisa Su of AMD than what we've previously seen. Back to you.
Okay, interesting there. Thanks, Adara. As we're getting comments all over the place. We got stopped out at 257 break right there. So we got that our last 3%. Like I said, we added quite nicely to the top side of our day there by this short there for AMD, as we now only have 20 minutes left. So thanks, Adara, for all of that one. The move down today in Rivian, I don't think it was, unheard of or anything. We were sort of looking for that move, but who caught the bottom is the question, because now Rivian's basically flat on the day, only down 2%, which isn't that bad considering we were down 8 or 9% near those lows. So again, here's a company that came out with a decent report, still losing a lot of money per car, but maybe battling back is Rivian. And, hopefully you're not stuck at 105, it's 107, it's IPO price, but nice battle back right now for RIVN on the back of nothing really, just fell into what could have been some decent support where we sort of took off from yesterday, or 2 days ago, sorry, $16. So we were just back in there, and then there it goes. So, if you're looking at this individual stock, you probably nailed that. So congratulations on that one. Flutter and Cisco, of course, tonight with Serve Robotics, so that's Flutter. That reminds me of DraftKings, because we saw DraftKings with a very bad move off of earnings, and it went all the way to the downside, hit 25 bucks, and now it's at 32. You're up $7 off of that bottom. This is almost up 25% in just a matter of 3 days. So DraftKings can show you the possibilities there if you're patient enough and waiting. I was going to buy 30s and never did it. So at least we, kind of called a good spot right there, but, didn't have sort of the, balls, I guess, to jump in there and hit that when it was falling back in. And then we were pretty happy off earnings, but didn't give us that third day, right? This is now day 3 or so off of earnings, and nice bounce back there. So congratulations to anybody that was able to do that and got some DraftKings. We'll see what happens to Flutter later on. So Microsoft, Meta, all those names, I think they just go lower from here. But right now the Nasdaq's about to go green. So I voted no, that it wouldn't get green, but it looks like we are right now very, very close to doing that, as the Bills are a good team, but this is Go Bulls right now. And again, not influenced at all by the capitalization of anything here. But we'll wait to see what winds up happening. We're net flat. I'm net flat right now off of a really good day. So I hope all of you guys are having big days there. And if you're not, that's fine. There'll always be tomorrow. Traders are red, traders are green, and that's what happens in this market. So just as long as you're staying, within the pocket a little bit there. Webull, I know people are always asking us about that. This is the one that I equate with Robinhood as just an app, but Webull is nicely popping here today, up 3%. So maybe the bottom's in on this name as well, $9. You can't go wrong trading this now against that 9. It would give you a 10% hit with plenty of upside. Robinhood spent, I told you, like a whole year underneath 10 bucks. We had sort of gone through that chart already, and now Robinhood's 140. So will that happen for Webull? most likely not, but at least the pedigree is there for these apps to continue some upside play. So we'll wait to see what happens with Webull, but yeah, really beat up. And this happened to Robinhood as well before eventually popping. So let's wait to see if you're a fan of Webull, then maybe there's something here for you, but I'd wait for it to break 10.
I'm only in that thing when it starts holding the 10 again. I'll jump back. I don't mind. One for 2 on Webull on swings. I don't mind taking a third shot at it. I think that's perfectly fine. Saw a little volume spike here in Mara for whatever reason. Bitcoin didn't seem to do much of anything. Mara breaking through VWAP. A couple people in the chat mentioning this. It's a NASDAQ, so it's not like it's going to be imbalance related, which is only 7 minutes away. Everybody, or less than 7 minutes away till we get the imbalances. But Mara taking it. Look, I mean, if Bitcoin's not been good, then obviously Mara's not going to do well either. They've gone into the treasury as well, right? Like they're not just. Well, I think at the end of the day, a lot of the miners have had to find other ways. They know long term that's going to be part of the plan. So them it was treasury, but it's bouncing right at $14. I haven't looked at this in a while. There's been accumulation and consolidation before. Hopefully you get a green day next, and then you can start thinking about another opportunity to buy some Mara, and we can trend up. First things first, Bitcoin's probably going to have to hold 100K. If we don't hold 100K, then throw that out the window, but you got to be able to do that for sure. Open is still flying higher. This is going to, if this ends up being like a big buy imbalance at 350, the shorts are already in trouble. If this comes out like 7 million to buy, it's going to just run people over. And nothing really on that, like I said, nothing on the early look. I still don't see Archer, and it's now 354. So what's crazy, it was supposed to be 7.5 today. It was a big buy imbalance yesterday. Maybe that's where it all got done. And it'll be OpenDoor today and not Archer. So I think this one, yeah, it's going to come out because there's no buy imbalance. And that's the reason to be in it. Unless something happens soon, I'm just going to put a trail on this and probably not trade it again. But the imbalances are finicky. Just because you expect something to be there does not mean it will. So don't at me if OpenDoor isn't the gigantic imbalance. You're treating it like it's going to come out big. Unfortunately, we just don't have early data on a NASDAQ name. That's all. And I said, I didn't mean 344. It's not 354 yet. So 5 minutes till the imbalances come out here, everybody. The market it was green. I actually voted green, but it's not anymore. Got right to green. This is every single candle on the 15-minute that has gone green for the NASDAQ has managed to not close green all day today. Like this one tried to go green, failed. I think in here it tried to go green. VWAP, remember, it was in the middle of the day, didn't happen. This last one as well. Tried to open green after taking it? No. So they're literally selling the NASDAQ at the kind of green to red point, unfortunately. So it hasn't been that good of a day. But again, you got to parse out the names. Plenty of other names have been fine. Like Microsoft's been fine. Apple's been generally good. AMD's been pretty strong. The other name that we were talking about on the other side, how are you supposed to go if Meta's not going to go? You know? This is probably the reason you're not getting any liftoff. The divergence was the word I was looking for. Thanks, Sean. When you have this kind of divergence in the Mag 7, it's tricky. Meta's going to break the low of the day, potentially, here in the last couple of minutes. And then Microsoft just can't get us. Chuck of all trades saying SoFi is doing
I'm getting a feeling like
really
in the pit of my stomach that tomorrow's going to be a horrible day. I don't know. I'm not getting a good feeling.
That's why I think
we're not going to be saved by any earnings. We're not going to be I don't know, OpenDoor's running today. Like, there's just so much happening. Meta's going to break a level. Microsoft's going to break a level. You come in tomorrow and you see some of these names on the mat.
Bitcoin 100K.
Bitcoin's going to crack.
Coinbase 300. There's a lot.
Yeah, this is why I'm talking like that, right? I mean, even NVIDIA is near a tipping point. If we break below and hold below this 190, I mean, that's going to be a problem as well. There's like we bounced off of 183, 184, but I think psychologically right here, if we come in tomorrow and we're underneath like this 190 area, I do think, the bears come for this name too. I mean, they've already come for it. And downside there, we saw Palantir downside as well. So I don't know. I'm not like, I love shorting. So I ain't going long. You know, so I just love the action, and so whatever happens tomorrow will be completely fine. But I get the feeling of that. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it's completely wrong. You know, and that's just like the tilapia talking to me from yesterday. But for right now, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, and a big congratulations to everybody. Awesome, right there, OpenDoor. Even some of you, even in the morning, were telling me like we should buy this break of 850. I mean, I don't know if that would have worked because it did go to close enough, anyways. 850 hold. Right there up to 9 1/4. So we'll figure that out. Thanks, Beta Pro, also for your continued sponsorship. We are getting excited to launch very, very soon, of course, the TraderTV Live Academy. So that'll be coming to you guys very, very soon, doing something different than anybody else is doing. So we want to keep promoting that so that when it does happen, you guys don't get caught off guard. We're ready to, you know, support that product and be here when that does launch. So, you know, big exciting moments for us around here with TraderTV Live Academy. So that's going to be something that we all are pretty excited about, and that'll be coming up very, very shortly. So stay tuned to all the socials and everything for that. You might have seen that throw down near the bottom of the screen at some points here this afternoon. TraderTV Live Academy. So yeah, excited for that one. All right. Other than that, though, man, just sitting around here waiting. I'm waiting for OpenDoor to see if there is. Neil had mentioned some sort of an imbalance potential here today for OpenDoor, so I'm potentially waiting for that as well. If that does come through, I'm here for it. So let's wait to see what happens now with OpenDoor. With just minutes left, 1 minute left now. We'll wait to see. I'll just put this like this and see if anything from the top comes through.
I don't know what could come through, but we are all very excited for the TraderTV Academy because it's so very close to being able to show you. No, it can't. Whoops. No, can't show you that. I'm kidding. No, we are, like, the site's already up. Got some ideas.
Hello, TraderTV, Neil had said.
Look, what was exciting, obviously, before you release it, and we got to make sure that it's how we want it.
Yeah.
So we've done some testing on it. We have logins so that we've been able to go in and give some feedback so that, you know, when it launches, we're all ready to go there. So I was just showing you some of the beta testing we were doing. 15 seconds to go here. Okay, good luck to, I forget who it was that said they were short OpenDoor, but I'm hoping you're not anymore. If this comes out a big buy, it's already squeezing. You never know what could happen. I mean, I punched out of Archer like 5 minutes ago.
Is it out?
It bounced
a buy.
5.5 million to the buy side.
It just shot up pretty nicely there. I did not get long,
on
but
open.
There goes OpenDoor. There was an opportunity, man, to get long there. I shit the bed.
There's a buyer at 50. Yeah, never mind. I saw that guy try to buy.
I could have got.
Archer isn't. See, Archer ended up not being a buy. Oh, SoFi is a buy of 2.8 million as well. So there's SoFi 2.8 million, Apple 1.3 million, NVIDIA 1.2 million. Obviously, we got buy balances across the board. Even Rigetti's a buy of 1 million shares in there. So, and BBAI, that's 860,000 for BBAI. So Mag 7, Apple and NVIDIA, and OpenDoor and SoFi for your small cap names with some big imbalances. Their overall market's a $1.2 billion buy, NASDAQ 1.1, Mag 7 620, all buy side.
So watch out now. Coming right back in here is OpenDoor, but still nice bump up there. We get that buy imbalance that we were looking for, but not taken advantage of, unfortunately. But there it goes, nicely taken to the upside. We could have just trusted it and bought it. And I think I was watching it, 920, there was some hesitation there, but I don't know if that was a quote issue maybe, but I'm pretty sure I could have punched at least low 20s when that first came out and just hesitated because I was waiting to double check it, but I was watching the levels. I think there was some opportunities there, so the algos probably got into that, and there goes OpenDoor cooking now, upside on OPEN, and as Neil mentioned, SoFi, there's Rich Tech Robotics, so.
Oh, there's?
No, sorry, RRR, no, 3 R's is not Rich Tech, 2 R's is Rich Tech.
I think so.
Red Rock Resort, so that's a nothing burger there.
Never heard of them.
Apple, again, good move today, but still not as beat up as the rest of the bigger names that are out there today, but still Apple not having a great time.
Oh shoot, that's an addition as well. Red Rock is
okay,
S&P 600.
All right, so there we go.
6.7 million shares. How big is it? It's supposed to be 6.7.
1. Just now it's only 1. I don't know what it came out as. Came out as 1.5 plus 2, so it did come out at about 3.5, 4 million shares for Red Resorts right there. Yeah, Rigetti. Some of these names have really been getting crushed, man. Rigetti, SMR, all these names. Wow, that's down another 10% today is Rigetti. And QBTS, probably something very, very similar. As, again, like, put up or shut up, and these names are really shutting up right now because they can't put up. There's no profits there. Everybody that was riding this to the long side, I hope you're able to get out, but this is, again, a decent level that we've already seen before for quantum names, and then, you know, we did get a huge bounce back today in Oklo, so that was really nice, but Circle gets the square, and today gets the kick. Circle down well into double digits now, down 12%, and yeah, not great for Circle as this name almost makes it back to IPO time. So if you like this stock, do some research tonight, do yourself a favor, and figure out what the heck is wrong with this name, because the report wasn't that bad, but you couldn't be able to tell that by looking at the stock. So down to $85 right now, looking for that to hold 82.
I hate to say that, but like, doesn't that chart, the chart reminds me of Coinbase's chart from the IPO. Yeah, and that's not actually a good thing. That's not even, like, it's not even kind of, you know what, I need to use Z-signal for this. I'm not gonna try going further back because I need a monthly chart. So I want it to work quickly, so I'm just gonna trust Z-signal. Like, that's what Circle's reminding me of. Like, when it lost the local bottom, it got cut more than in half. Like, it went 400 to 200, and when it lost that bottom, it went to $40. It gained it back, so that's good. But I feel like Circle's going to be a similar story, where there's going to be a lot of people hoping it bounces, and sometimes there's an initial bounce, but maybe not so much after the fact. But you know what? If you're playing bounces, if you're playing breakouts, if you're just playing trading in general for too long, it meant risking your own money or not having enough to start. You'd fear losing, and that's what kept many traders in the sidelines, but that's going to change because Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets. With its limited risk trading model, traders use funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, discipline, and more discipline, but also consistency and growth. When you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation. And you're not going to get it now, but when some of you sign up for the Trade TV Academy, you're going to understand why I said discipline, discipline, and more discipline. You'll get it later. But that Coinbase, if Circle does something like this, like break the low and then cascade, you just want to be patient. Because when Coinbase was falling all over itself, there was a bottom and it was glorious. But look how long you had to catch the bottom of something that gets that far out of favor. Over a year.
A minute.
It took a long time. That sometimes those types of bottoms require patience because the stock is deep in the penalty box. It's past 355. I meant to go back. That's my bad. I didn't realize 355. OpenDoor got cut in half, that imbalance, so it was 5. It's now 2.6. Keep in mind the expected total was 7.5. So it's already done paired volume, all of that. So, you know, don't necessarily assume it's going to close with a big upprint because you were expecting a much bigger number and a lot of it's already paired off. Rigetti has stayed a 1.1 million buy imbalance. SoFi has stayed a 2 million buy imbalance. So those are looking pretty strong as well. Still some time. They're NASDAQ names, so that whole 355 pair thing is more prevalent on the New York than it is on the NASDAQ. These could easily still all pair off, but OpenDoor just took out the high of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was, I really hope that guy didn't short the stock.
Was somebody shorting it?
I think someone in the chat said they were shorting
well,
it.
I mean, they know the risk.
But it's a thing, when it's a buy imbalance, I'm not saying you never go short when it's a buy imbalance, but some of the worst at the close blow-ups I've seen have been when someone tries to go against what the expected imbalance would be. Because it's like, okay, well, if it works for you, great. Sometimes that happens. But if it comes out the wrong way, you're like doubly screwed. Because the A was already trending up, and then B, the imbalance is there as well. So you're like, you get like this double action. And that's the other thing. Sometimes you get a mean reversion on when these imbalances, like, you know, buy imbalance gets paired off, or it happens, it prints up, and then you kind of can have a big correction the next day. So I don't necessarily think this means OpenDoor is going to remain this strong, but keep in mind, there's multiple stories here. Yes, that Russell 2000 is a big deal, but the other story is OpenDoor is squeezing. Like, this is a pure squeeze play right now. Eric Jackson will be happy about this. The shorts are getting wrecked. And if we actually take out $11, there's probably going to be some big stop orders sitting at the $11 level. Anyone that's short at the top is still okay for now, but that's over in $1.50.
Yeah, Eric, get on our show, man, and explain that.
The stock is up like whatever. We cover it every day. It's at the top of our list, or near the top of the stock visualizer. I think it's number 1 right now. Literally number 1 on the visualizer, and it's been there every single day. Come on, Eric.
Eric will come through. Let's see if he comes through. With only 2 minutes to go right here, join Neil and Nadera for Cisco, for Serve earnings, for Flutter earnings, to see what winds up happening here with this market. And it looks like the NASDAQ once again tried to go green, and then it looks like it will fail out. So I voted red. It doesn't matter. These are just random votes. But it looks like the bulls will lose out today unless we get a crazy spike in the next little while, which we could get as these imbalances just kind of let the market go flat. And it's been a pretty disappointing. I mean, it's been a great day trading. Like I said, it's my number 1 day this month, but that's just because of AMD. After that, not much else for me today as we just basically just trend traded. I tried to look at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac a little bit. That's why I've just been hitting some keys right now looking at it, but it's just up to 10 and then fell right back in, and I actually didn't catch that move, but 980 high.
Good news there?
Not really. I mean, I don't know. I was looking at it.
10%?
Yeah, exactly. 10% down for Fannie. I actually talked about this yesterday with Adara, that there was some talk there about different mortgages and potentially some fraudulent dealings, but I know that was more with Lisa Cook and whatnot. So, but Fannie Mae here, yeah, getting kicked back to the downside. We talked about this with Jeff Mendel just the other day, and I was like, this is doing good volume. 17 million shares today, actually, for Fannie and Freddie. So yeah, less than 1 minute here. It's been a really, really good day, man. And, you know, I just hope that everyone sticks with it. You know, we had some rough moves early with Google just falling in. And again, like taking the trades too early, man. We're going to do better at that. Like this was almost right away when Google fell right in, and that was just a disaster waiting to happen. And then we lost small on TQs, but then it was AMD. I only traded 3 names today. I don't know, all of us traded many different names. There it goes right here. AMD at the end of the day back up to 260. Wow, that's really got some acceleration back into it. And someone in the chat actually said, I bet AMD gets to 260 there today afterwards. But there it is by 3D Capital, CSE, IDK, OTC, IDKFF. Scan that. They got a $1,000 giveaway right there. Go find out what they're all about. 3, 2, and 1. And that is that. There's Mark and Fabian there behind us working their butts off. Market imbalance was 1.2 billion to the buy side, but almost enough to get the NASDAQ green. And look at that. Our vote comes within, I'll call that a wash, man. I mean, whether or not you voted one way or the other, that's a great one. ES up barely today. That fell back in a little bit there. But yeah, lots of stuff going on. Bitcoin hopefully can hold that 101. But that's enough for me. I hope you had a good time watching today. And we're going to be doing this exact same thing tomorrow. So get ready for that, man. It's Thursday tomorrow and should be a good one. We don't have too many earnings, but I don't know. The market, maybe now I'm feeling a little bit better as the market recovers to green there today. I'm off Friday for hockey, but back tomorrow should be a good one. It's Neil, it's Adara, it's your market recap show. Ciao till then. I'll see you in the morning.
Hello.
Welcome, everybody. The chair just did it again. Okay,
It did it today when I sat
this
on
thing
it.
is like sinking on me, and also it's like sliding, so I'm in the wrong place in the shot. But welcome to the Market Recap Show, brought to you by Beta Pro by Globex. It is not the craziest earnings day. Look at the right camera, Neil. But we do have Cisco. We did have a lot of crazy action today in the market. Of course, yesterday, AMD had their investor day. Today, a few names took it a little bit on the chin. The Qs tried to get green, so close. Every single time today that the NASDAQ ticked green, it completely rejected it. Every time, go green, reject, go green, reject, reject, reject. No, like Matumbo, or I guess Wemby, I should say these days, complete rejection for the Bulls up top. You don't know Wembenyama? He's like the... I mean, I don't know. He's kind of trending to be like the greatest player of all time. He's a complete freak of nature.
In football?
In basketball.
Oh, basketball. Okay.
Freak.
Oh, are you talking Giannis?
Not Giannis.
No, I've only heard of Giannis.
This dude's like 7'4", and he's an athletic freak.
Taller than Giannis?
Taller than Giannis by like 5 inches. He's
Okay, I didn't
taller
know
than
that.
Giannis, more skilled than Giannis. He's a better defender than Giannis. Wemby is just doing some things that are absolutely breaking bank. What was the Wemby like? Think of Wemby and his upside potential right now is like SNDK.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Right now, the thing that maybe not everybody is talking about or heard about might be the most ridiculous chart in the market,
Oh my God.
and it's SNDK. Memory's a big deal right now. And like you look at what's going on with some of the AI trade, and these guys have been blowing it out of the water. I would be concerned that it's getting a little frothy up here, but certainly this bad boy is looking pretty ridiculous. Yes, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. We always have fun and mess around. I said trending towards potentially being the GOAT. I didn't say Wemby was the GOAT. That's MJ all the way. But look, Sanders, incredibly powerful move to the upside. Hasn't had a red day in a while, but I think today we've got to start thinking about what to do with a lot of these Mag 7 divergence we were talking about here, where you have a lot of weakness in meta, where it's heading to the downside. I'm seeing serve here getting squashed.
I'll look for the numbers.
We weren't expecting them till 4:45.
We weren't.
But
Oh, I have them though.
the earnings are out, and they're down 8%
Yep.
and continuing to go lower.
Okay, so with SCRV, you've got a better than expected loss per share here. Adjusted losses of 24 cents per share. We were expecting 33-cent loss per share. So guys, that is actually a beat. Sales, though, are unfortunately not a beat. Are you ready for the numbers on Serve? So they reported sales of, drumroll please, $687,000. Now, that is small, but it's actually not that below estimates. Estimates here are $691,000. So again, missing here by about $4,000 for a name this small that's going to matter. So again, that happened here with regards to SCRV. They missed on earnings. I want to mention as well, we have Cisco earnings. I have a fun infographic. I'll pull that up in 2 seconds. Also, guys, remind me to show you all my Disney infographics for tomorrow because I spent, one could argue, too much time on them, and I'm very excited to show them to you guys. But Cisco reporting tonight, this is what we're looking for here in CSCO, and here is CEO Chuck Robbins. Again, a lot of these look better on X, so showed them on X. I like to use colors and it gets bright. But either way here, earnings of 98 cents per share is what they're expecting here. Revenue, 14.78 billion. Now, Neil, they beat on both metrics last quarter, but just barely, and they guided inline guidance. So I think if I had to summarize Cisco with one word, it would be tepid. Hopefully they're not tepid today.
Well, if you're summarizing it with tepid, then good luck, Chuck. That's all I have to say for you. That is the first and last time I will make any reference to anything that Dane Cook has done.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, it's overrated comedian. But Serve, $500 million market cap. Check that. Okay, it was 680. I think my mental math is gonna be wrong. So it's probably more like $600 million market cap or something just above $600 million market cap with $600,000 in quarterly revenue, I believe you said?
Yeah, 687, I believe.
So it's not about the fundamentals in a particular case like this. They do have a short flow of 23%, which makes sense when you have that kind of a divergence. But ultimately, the only positive you have is we were expecting a 12% move. It's a fraction of that, and it didn't break. Obviously, a 12% move would have taken Serve Robotics underneath its support at like about 870. So it didn't break this level yet. So it might be a down move, and it might not be a good report yet. Always a chance that you get like a squeeze bounce if it can't take out that low.
I have Cisco.
I wouldn't be betting against that. Cisco is out, so hopefully Chuck was good luck. And there you go, 77. Cisco was already up on the day, so maybe doubling that move with a 7% to the upside here, Cisco.
Great job, Chuck. Adjusted earnings of $1 per share. Much like last quarter, they squeaked by here, like just a squeak for the EPS beat. They beat EPS by 1 cent last quarter. They beat it by 2 cents this quarter. So good job there, Cisco. Again, $1 adjusted earnings here versus 98 cents expected. Sales, $14.883 billion, above estimates of $14.766 billion, so double beat. And Neil, let's talk about their guidance. They're guiding adjusted earnings here for Q2 26 between $1.01 and $1.03 per share. Once again, would you believe it? But I said that's a squeak by beat, just barely beating estimates of 99 cents. Sales here, they're guiding between 15 bill and 15.2 bill, actually well above estimates of 14.627 bill. So Much like we had last quarter, very marginal EPS and sales beats, but guidance here a little bit more promising than it was for last quarter, and they raised their guidance for fiscal 26. Adjusted EPS they're now expecting here for the fiscal year to $4.08 to $4.14, above estimates of $4.04. They raised their fiscal 26 sales guide to $60.2 billion to $61 billion. That's well above estimates of $59.677 billion. Well done, Chuck.
Do you know why it doesn't matter if they only scrape by?
Why?
Because this was a 17 PE coming into this print. You're talking about how many tech names you got in the teens on their price to earnings. So you didn't need to beat by much. You meet expectations, and then at current prices, they'd have been 17. Obviously, the price is changing here, and we'll get updated numbers. But squeaking by when you are relatively cheap compared to some of your peers can be good enough. And at this point, looking very good for Cisco. The implied move was only 5.7%. So it's not like people were expecting gangbusters. Now you're breaking out with a bigger move than we were anticipating.
Really?
This one could have a little bit of follow through. I think part of the key is that it wasn't. This is not the first time. I think it was when Western Digital was breaking out a few weeks ago. We were sort of mentioning, despite how strong it wasn't like it was trading at a ridiculous PE compared to its peers, which sometimes when a stock is at the all-time highs, you don't, or local highs, you don't think that. I'm just looking at the book right now as it's coming back in for everybody real time. As this pulls back, you're going to want to see if it holds on to the prior high. That's about $75. Right now, I don't see much. There's a small order there at 75, but that's the key defend. If we dip back in here, as we absorb some of the normal pullback after earnings, can it hold that 75 prior support? That's for sure. TPS reports, shout out to you in the chat. You get that red stapler to staple those together, your TPS reports? I want to make sure that you get one. That's important. You know, you got to go all in with the office-based references. You're not building AI clouds without Cisco. Truth. There's so many ways. There's so many ways that you can play this space. Good fundamentals, some other people are saying as well. But we can come back to there in a second because there's a stock that I don't think enough people talked about today. And when there's not a lot of earnings, sometimes you have to go over what's important on a day. And we might have ignored Netflix. I know they don't split. You're not going to have the split. Well, the split's 14th, effective on Monday the 17th. So we have a few days before that happens. But people talk about the rounded bottom setup. Oh, yeah. Did Netflix? There's your rounded bottom. There's a regain of the 200-period moving average. There's the local break, 1140. Straight shot today. I know it's only 2%, but it was into a market doing a whole lot of nothing and not getting green. So relative strength is relative strength. This is part of the story. This is a name which is upward trending right now. We talked about it where you have, sometimes you have like Apple's going up. You got Netflix going up. You have Meta going down. You have lots of different divergence that's happening in this market. And why Netflix, I'm mentioning it now, is because only a couple of names for earnings tonight, but tomorrow morning, we get Disney. And unfortunately, people look at Disney streaming and other competitive streamers. This is one name where you might see Netflix react a little bit on Disney earnings. What I'm saying is, if it dips because of something Disney does, buying opportunity. If Netflix dips because of something that happens to Disney tomorrow morning, I think you have a buying opportunity back into the 200-period moving average because I don't think it should, and I don't think it's a good comparison whatsoever, but sometimes it happens, and when that happens, sometimes you want to get in there and buy.
Yeah, guys, let me know if there's any earnings I missed. I know some people were tagging me prior to tonight being like, look at these earnings, and so just remind me what those were. I want to talk here about some of these Disney earnings infographics. There's another one that'll be on X in about, I scheduled it to post in like 4 minutes, so that'll be out soon, but I have the ones that are out right now that I will talk about. So this one is the company's revenue growth. This is just like a traditional infographic. There's quite a lot of these on X at TTV Research, just, they're acquisitions, who's the president, who's the CEO. But then, that didn't take me too long, so I decided to have a lot of fun with it, and I created this one. This is more specific to the company's films and specific updates with their films, and we also have a lot of fun little Pixar and Disney characters on this infographic. Again, X at TTV Research. I did not realize that the soundtrack for High School Musical went platinum, but now I know, so you guys can learn that too. Damn. Lots of fun facts here. X at TTV Research is the exact same revenue. It's just, I think, pictured in a more fun way. And again, Mr. Bob Iger and his good friend Mickey Mouse, they're going to be in an infographic coming out in, what, now 3 minutes. We have Flutter earnings. We'll talk about those, up 17% year over year to $3.79 billion. So a great job for Flutter, batting its eyelashes to the upside, I would presume, or at least the sales are. So they actually missed those estimates. So $3.794 billion, up 17% year over year, but below estimates of $3.906 billion. Adjusted earnings, $1.64 per share, well above estimates of 86 cents. So big EPS beat, mild sales miss, though they did grow on a year-over-year basis, and they cut their sales guide, though, for the fiscal year, Neil. Their new sales guide is $16.69 billion, and that is going to miss estimates of $16.056 billion. So big EPS beat, sales miss, and cutting that guidance is my overall takeaway for Flutter.
Yeah, and we've seen recently, like obviously DraftKings had a really good bounce recently. Flutter doing the same thing. So I think it's more about the lows here for Flutter and DraftKings. Like both of them came back into historic lows, and both of them are bouncing from them. So it might be a meh, but it's trading green and trying to go. Like the initial move was downside, but if a stock's been beaten up badly enough, sometimes the dip buyers are like, well, this is a bottom for the space. Let's get in there and buy. And that seems like that's what's happening in Flutter. You've already seen that happen with DKNG here. DraftKings has been bleeding for a while. They're going to move in sympathy, of course, here aftermarket and Flutter. Just be careful. Like if anybody trading this in the aftermarket, it's dangerous enough. But, you know, understanding that DraftKings is only moving because of Flutter right now, not on its own volition. So you got to be extra careful there. Yeah. DraftKings made a recent bottom. Flutter made a recent bottom. I think that's more of what you're seeing here than saying it's a great report. So I think you give it like the 3-day rule or something like that for Flutter. I saw a lot of people in the chat are asking about class over holdings, this kid stock, this penny stock. I don't know why it's moving here, kids. That was a... that was a movie back in the day.
Oh my God, Larry Clark and Harmony Korine.
The original Kids?
Yeah, we're talking about Kids like from the mid-90s, right? I love Harmony Korine, so I'm extremely biased. That man can make as many weird, uncomfortable movies as he wants, and I will watch them. But yeah, so I kind of want to watch that tonight. That's 95, right? 95?
I was about to, you know what? I don't even know why I Google anything sitting next to you. Like, I'm not making it up, man. I typed in Kids to search for when the movie was, and before I could even type it, like Adara was giving me his 1995. No, Leo Fitzpatrick. I was trying to figure out Leo Fitzpatrick is Telly.
He's such a good actor.
And then he was in The Wire as well. He's an unbelievably good actor.
He's excellent.
I didn't realize it was on screen. This guy here. Unbelievable. I don't know if he still does anything, but the guy he's brilliant. The movie is really difficult to watch, so understandably, if anyone, don't at me if you watch that movie and you're like, what the heck did you tell me to just watch? It's not easy to watch. That being said, the stock, Kids, which I don't see a news story for them outside of like Monday. There was a small story for them. They had a breakthrough of a real-time AI tutor. And that was the story a couple of days ago, and now I just sort of see it randomly moving. So we're tracking it. If there was something hitting the wires right now, we'd let you know, but I don't see anything. Up 36%. That's a penny stock, right?
No, I don't have
36% for a penny stock. It's good, but it's not as if it's a massive deal here. And you're absolutely right in the chat. Adara forgets absolutely nothing. We'll revisit this conversation like a couple of months from now on the Market Recap Show. And I'll be able to ask her, when we were talking about Kids, the movie and the stock, what was the major earnings name that day and how did they do? And then she'll be able to tell you, like 2 months from now, we'll do this, and she'll say Cisco, and she'll give you exactly what happened with that one. So we'll see. Now, ear to the ground for Kids, but so far...
Oh, Bovin says apparently it's a 13G from Goldman Sachs. I haven't seen it yet, though, so thank you, Bovin, for letting me know. I have not yet seen it.
Okay.
I always like to wait on these things till I see them, but I will say that is apparently what's happening. Firefly also did post earnings, Neil, and it was a double beat and better than expected guidance. So Fly is probably flying.
Oh, it's flying all right. And Firefly, this is another one of these, you know, grit your teeth, suck it up, Buttercup, because Firefly Aerospace is not going to have the fundamentals to back much of anything, guys. It's like they don't have, there's not a there yet. And that has been definitely reflected in the price. We talk about recent IPOs that come to market. Remember I showed you guys the Miami exchange, like the only one up? This one might be the worst of the year, but when it's this bad, maybe the bottom's in. I don't know. Like sometimes it's a report. Who knows? Like sometimes there's an actual fundamental breakthrough, whatever it might be. With positive report, maybe this will make the turn. As a trader, it almost has to be on your radar for the potential upside here because it's breaking out that low. But the last time it looked like it was breaking the low, you had not much of a fun time. You had a couple of days and then you went right back into the downtrend. So don't get too excited until you get like the rounded bottom and the higher lows. You don't have that yet. You're still trying to just hold one low and break it on out. So Firefly, I don't know what the short float is here. I don't know if it's too early. It says 4%. I kind of believe like that seems light to me, but it could be right. Maybe there is only a 4% short float in Fly. But it is flying higher. You just got to understand that this has been one of the worst IPOs of the year, if not the worst performing IPO. And one day does not make a turn in what has been a nasty downward trend. And I said it before, it's the boring names that have done well for the IPO season, like the Miami exchange. And I keep throwing it up here, the one that nobody cared to talk about. I don't remember hearing anybody except for our show mention the Miami exchange. And I only said it because we use the gateway here at Real Trading all the time. I probably do a couple of percent of my volume on this exchange, and there are two exchanges. And look at them, straight shot to the upside. Market's doing volume and people are trading. This kind of thing that wins. I'm not saying buy it at the highs, but one of these IPOs is built a little bit different than the other. Circling back over to Cisco here, it did hold these gains. So the dip, I mean, they have some wicks that are down to 74, but the bid held well above 75. So it's holding that prior high. It's a small beat, as you said, Adara. They kind of eked it out, but it was a reasonable forward PE, and that's going to hold them up pretty well, up 8%. Not a crazy move, but certainly a decent one for sure. So good look here on Cisco. And TPS reports, you're right, building rockets does take a lot of CapEx. And people are getting punished for their spend without results right now with the markets getting a little bit frothy. That's going to weigh on Firefly. And that's a very, very good point. But at the same time, you know, if they do turn around and turn the ship around, I think there's tremendous upside with this. We've seen it in things like, you know, Rocket Lab, ASTS Mobile. I'm just not sure you got the bottom yet.
Yeah, I want to talk here, just a reminder on those numbers too, Neil. So better than expected, the earnings losses of 33 cents versus 41 cents expected. Sales 30.778 million, so pretty small, but it was above estimates of 27.708 million. And they raised their fiscal 25 sales guidance to 150 million to 158 million. I would say that is well above estimates of $135.485 million. Now, Neil, I do want to take a moment here to kind of chill out and talk a bit about some of the Fed talk that we got today. And I also want to discuss the shutdown situation, because a lot of people are saying we're going to get CPI tomorrow. I would not bet money on that. And here's why I think that. So as you guys know, I listen to all of these pieces of commentary from the Trump admin. We did have Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary. She was talking today. She did a conference. And to be clear, she was trying to make a political point when she said this. I think that's like a big thing to remember. But she basically said that there is a very large likelihood we're never going to get any October inflation data. So again, worth noting, she was like, there was a point that was trying to be made there, so it's not politically neutral. But the statement, if true, which we have no reason to necessarily believe it isn't, regardless of the context in which it was said, we might not get that inflation data. So I do want to let you guys know about that. And then I also want to give you guys an update on the Fed chair search, because an individual certainly put his hat in the ring. I would argue maybe too aggressively. And his name is Kevin Hassett. I was talking to Neil about this off camera. So this is when I initially made this infographic. 11 people who were in contention. Larry Lindsay, this guy in the corner, he's already said he just wants to focus on family time, so he's out. But Kevin Hassett, who does have like a brief amount of Fed experience, he basically said, yeah, if Trump asks me, I 100% will become the Fed chair. And this, I was kind of shocked to hear, that he said basically that he is more likely, in his opinion, to cut rates than Fed Chair Powell. So that is like, what a way of saying that you'll cut rates if you're the Fed chair. I mean, he didn't out and out say that, but let's be real, that was the meaning of what he said. But it gets a little wilder, because Neil, I told you this part as well. He basically said, yeah, I could step right in tomorrow if they need me.
Oh, goodness.
I have the experience. So like Kevin Hassett going to the mall with his resume and being like, hey guys, if you need a job, give me a call. And I respect the ambition, but sir, you do have a job already too. So if this doesn't work out for you, I don't think you're gonna be like, you know, too hard pressed, but it's quite an aggressive strategy, and it's actually almost the opposite of what we've seen with Scott Bessent, who is he's not in this infographic because he already dropped out by this time, but he was, I think Trump really seems to want him to be the Fed chair, and that's been mentioned a lot, and Bessent has said that he's really happy where he is and he likes his position. So, I mean, in the exact opposite of that, you have Kevin Hassett. I don't know, guys, I'm entertained by this stuff, and I want to mention it.
You're talking about the control, like rates control the money supply for the United States to a certain degree, which is controlling effectively the biggest control of the money supply in the world, which is somewhat of a control of the world economy. I kind of prefer the notion, it's like Game of Thrones, man. I don't want you on the Iron Throne because you want to be on the Iron Throne. I would rather the person who actually doesn't want to, who's qualified for the job but actually doesn't want the job. They're like, I don't want to do this, but I'll do it to serve. That's exactly the kind of person that I would want, but none of that necessarily matters for sure. Mike Peter Ryder says, I never watched Game of Thrones, never seen a single episode. That's fair. Oh, Fabian just yelled out, okay, I'm gonna out Fabian here, because Fabian just yelled out loser for not watching Game of Thrones. There's nothing wrong with that. To each their own. I think it's a good show. I thought the books were a million times better. They usually are. That's how it goes. But ultimately, look, it's the kind of thing where a lot of times in a role like that, you're not going to get that kind of a person. Let's be real. Nobody ends up the president of the United States, the Fed chair, because they reluctantly are doing it. Unfortunately, you're not going to find that kind of a person out there. No. One thing to keep in mind with the reopen potentially happening, I'm just going to throw, we only have like 5 or 6 minutes to go. And with it not being a lot of earnings names, and we're talking a little bit about Disney for tomorrow morning and Netflix and reaction, if we open back up here, I want people to remember some of the airlines.
Yeah.
And specifically AAL. Right now, the reason I'm saying AAL is, just trying to zoom it out a little bit further so you can see here. I'm not going to, I could use my drawing tool. I don't need to. Do I need to draw you the line at 14? I don't think I need to. So just around the $14 level, right in here, like go back into like beginning of the year. This was one of the resistance points where it dumped, and then a recent high, some lower highs which are rebounding. This is a potential breakout stock for after when things get back to normal. And look, it's no guarantee that, hey, you end the government shutdown and everything goes back to normal. I'm pretty sure even if they end the government shutdown, you're still going to have that 10% that they said, or 8% they're going to pull back. That probably still happens because does everyone, do the flight controllers just go back to work the next day? Does everybody? Maybe they don't. So it might not happen right away, but it's a trade worth looking for when it does eventually over that $14 level. So I'm there for you. And who put Pluribus in the chat? Or Pluribus in the chat? Was that you, Fabian? I watched the first episode last night. I'm all in. I'm all in. Get it, Apple TV. You should just buy Apple stock because they're crushing it when it comes to sci-fi. What do you not get with Apple? You got streaming. You got the device that everybody wants in their pocket except for me. You have
and Obi. Obi's also notedly like an Apple tech. He's not bearish the stock. He always says this, but he's not bullish on their product.
My way of looking at it is this. I am not a follow the crowd type of person whatsoever. But when it comes to the stock market, I am a follow the crowd kind of person. If it's trending and everyone's buying it and it's strong, I'll own the stock. I might not want to have an Apple phone. I might not want to have an iPad. It's just not I'm an Android guy. It keeps it real. But Apple stock, sign me up. No issues with that at all. But let's be real. It didn't really do much of anything today. And I don't think one show is going to do much, Fabian, for the stock. Unfortunately, that's just not how it's going to go. But we've been forgetting to talk about the big story with regards to Apple, which I think is why in the Mag 7 it's pressing toward the highs. Yeah, they only have to pay Alphabet, allegedly, $1 billion a year to integrate.
That's pennies.
Gemini.
For them.
That's pennies. Pennies for them to improve the AI experience, to improve Siri, which stinks. Even my dad, who loves Apple, will tell you that. And once they do that, I think you're going to be able to retain more in the ecosystem. Their services are what drives, so they need to keep the user base. If they keep the experience good and everyone stays on the device, services is where the margins are at anyways, and that's been growing like gangbusters. So that's what Apple needs. That's why they're at the highs. I think that's going to do well for them. Think about it. They get an absolute steal to improve AI on their devices, and that's why they're at the highs. Meta, on the other hand, is spending boatloads of CapEx and getting punished for it.
Well, Reality Labs is. Can we just address Reality Labs for a second?
Do we have to?
I don't think it's a reality.
I own Meta. You don't have to. We don't have
I'm
to.
sorry. Reality Labs is great, and it's definitely a real thing that's making profit. No, I'm joking.
I like the valuation at these prices. I like the valuation in March. I like it. I'm starting to like it again here in Meta. It's that simple. I'm not afraid to buy companies that are good value when they look trash. I think that's in the long run how you end up doing well.
Yeah, I mean that's what Buffett always used to say, right? Like great companies or good companies at fair prices, not fair companies at good prices. So shout out to Buffett. I do want to shout out as well Bob Iger, or as Elon Musk once said, hi Bob. So again, this infographic is probably more legible if you view it on your screen, so check it out on X at TTV Research. I swear I don't do that on purpose. The visuals look better on my screen than they do in the TV. Regardless, Disney reporting tomorrow morning. Here is Bob Iger and his good friend and coworker, Mr. Mouse. But yeah, last quarter we had a slight revenue miss. It was up 2% year over year. EPS was a beat. Net income, massive improvement on a year over year basis. So check this out here. DIS earnings. This is the third of 3 infographics here for Disney that you can find on X at TTV Research. Kurt Hutchins asking if I'd be bought to go to MSNBC. I'm happy where I am, but thank you very much. I'm not Papa John's.
Come on,
I'm not Bill Holdings. I'm not in a merger acquisitions conversation. I am just, there's no activist investor involved here.
Not allowed.
With me. I'm just chilling and living my life and having so much fun, bringing all these fun visuals to you guys, which by the way, there's some Chinese ADRs reporting earnings tomorrow.
Ooh.
And there's also going to be an infographic in just under an hour that will be posted on X to prepare you guys for Billy and JD earnings. But I'm not going to show you guys because you have to wait till it comes out on X.
There is not going anywhere. Both Sean and I swing a mean baseball bat. It's not going to happen. You try to poach one of our team, and it's not happening. We can't lose Adara. How would I remember anything if we didn't have Adara? Seriously.
I love when Sean pulls out the CrowdStrike as like a party trick. It's so, remember one time too, they had the people from the Intercontinental Exchange, I think, and all of it here, he's like, Adara, what was the CrowdStrike gate? And I say it, and the guy's like, oh. But yeah, it's fun. I like doing it. It's fun. And yeah, it's funny too, because I don't talk about this a lot. I was kind of like embarrassed about my memory when I was younger, because it freaks people out sometimes. I'll be honest, right? You remember stuff and people are like, what? Like I mentioned that once in passing, but now I feel like I'm really grateful for it.
You got all A's.
This is an awesome job where I feel like I really am able to use my memory. So I thank you all, everyone in the chat, for being so awesome. And I'm so happy with this community too, where we get to just do what we like doing and what we're good at.
Devin's like, yeah, the bass in the voice comes out when we keeps it a little bit more real. Also, Los Pollos Hermanos, would you want to join CNBC tomorrow? No, I couldn't do that. You know, there's you know what's every now and then you'll hear me talk about like how money works and the money supply and all that stuff. There's a certain discourse that doesn't happen in the mainstream, whether it's regards to the market and stocks or like how the economy works and how money works, that I think is really cool, and we get to talk about it all the time here, but I don't think it flies the same way in the major media. It is what it is. And plus, like, part of it, the interaction with the viewers. Like,
yeah, that's huge.
Is there going to be, are you actually going to see a roll call anywhere else? You're going to see Adara, and by the way, it's roll call time. That's why I'm throwing to it here. You're going to see that on a major network? No. We're not going to cover things a million years after it happens. We're going to talk about it when it does. When Disney reports, you'll know right away and all the juice, and Adara's going to know exactly what the EPS is, and she'll be able to tell you like a month after the time that it dropped and what the CEO said on the call and all that good stuff. And that's why we give another chance for everyone to jump in the chat right now. Do it by hitting the subscribe, because it's roll call time. If you want to dare to show off one of our other skills, which is being able to see every single name that pops through, read it in rapid fashion, and give you guys your individual shoutouts, then hop in here and say, get it Adara, because until I come up with something better to say, and there's nothing better than that to say these days, then Drop your get it Adara and let's do some roll call.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for the kind words. I really appreciated this community. Means so much, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. Thank you to Neil. Thank you to Sean, Sharif, Joe, Brendan, Fabian, Ramin, Andre, Mark, Rob, Randy, Russell, everybody working on the set, everybody you see, everybody you don't see. Thank you, Travman, Go Bills, Andrew Chow, Byron Hart, Team Johnson. We've got Trillion Small. We've got Stuart, Michael Spatafor, Ali the Conductor, Bear Slayer, JR, Roger Noonan, Siesta Mike, 44, Nitish. We've got Dinkelberg, Supreme Paper Hands, By Grace, Byron Hart, Scott Edwards, Mike Peter Ryder, Big 40 Nephew, Girl Trader, Andrew Chow again, T-Money, High Vibrations, Marlon B, Daniel B, TJ Morty, Harry Lou, Sagadera for Fed Chair. I will politely decline, but you know, Kevin Hassett, you can bring your resume again if you want. Thank you to Rivian Millionaire, Q Trader 21, T-Man, Dave Schreiner, By Grace, Eric's, Team Johnson's Resurgence Candle, Death God, TPS Reports, and we'll end here with Swizzler Sniper. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. But guess what? We'll be here again tomorrow for more earnings, for more excitement, for more fun, and hopefully for some more fun trades, because today was a really good day when it comes to trading opportunities.
Lots of opportunity out there. And yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and say that we're going to be here to do it tomorrow, just like I had to. TPS Reports, all I can think about is Office Space right now. One of the greatest movies. It's just a great comedy. If you've never seen it, go out and check it out. I think it's hilarious. I know Fabian must love that movie as well. It's an absolute classic. Check it out, but make sure you get some rest time. Whatever you do. Maybe you want to watch a movie. Make sure you have a good dinner because you got to rest up, do it all again tomorrow. There's going to be lots of action in the market like there always is. Probably not going to get the CPI report, but that doesn't mean the market's not going to move. We'll be here to cover it. Why? Because we're TraderTV Live, brought to you by Beta Pro by GlobeX. And we'll see you tomorrow morning, 8:30.
Bye, guys.